He is an amateur physical education teacher at Chongqing High School. He has a handsome appearance but is a bit clumsy. His life is limited to teaching and resting at home. Until one day, the appearance of a strange old man changed his ordinary life. Dreams that looked like past life memories began to appear in his mind, and a cultivation system helped him improve his physical fitness and resist evil Taoist cultivators. Thanks to Ouyangdao's help, he regained a part of his past life memories about the Wanxiang sect and Qinghe Fairy, the woman he loved most. Besides, the mysteries surrounding him gradually revealed themselves. Can our protagonist overcome all the difficulties and challenges ahead? Please follow this story together. A new day begins as the sun shines on the high-rise buildings in Jianyan City, Jiuluan District. A breeze carries leaves across the magnificent Chongqing High School. A pair of feet are running swiftly on the school field. He ran and muttered to himself, "I'm done for. I offended the principal on my first day of work." He saw the principal hugging a female student intimately. He looked depressed and thought, at that time, I really thought he was being a pervert. He clutched his cheek and angrily shouted, "I'm the principal. I'm catching students skipping class." He stared blankly at him lying on the ground. Suddenly his face turned pale and he looked dejected. "I'm just a physical education teacher, and I'm new, not even past my probation period. What kind of hero am I?" He walked listlessly on the road when a figure ran from afar, shouting, "Hey, stop!" An old man in his 70s ran from afar. He turned his head in surprise and saw the old man smiling happily, and raising his hand, "Immortal Venerable, I finally found you." He instinctively raised his hand to touch the old man's hand, and because of the speed, the sound was a little loud. He was dumbfounded. High-fiving? He was startled and watched the old man hurriedly pass him and run out of sight. Two people in white coats chased after him. "Stop!" The two people grabbed him with annoyed expressions. The old man frowned at them. "Let me go. I have to find the Immortal Venerable." Another person in a white coat ran to Yi's side and asked worriedly, "Are you okay?" He looked at him suspiciously. "I'm fine. What's going on?" The doctor breathed a sigh of relief and smiled awkwardly at him. "It's okay, just a mental patient who ran out. It's good that he didn't hurt you." He turned pale and gaped at the front. The old man had run far away, and his voice echoed back, "You can't catch me." The doctor hurriedly shouted, "Don't let him run." He looked at this scene in surprise. He's old, but he's still quite strong. He looked at his trembling hand. Yi's face paled as he rubbed his hand and murmured, "He really is strong." The sky tilted towards the west, and the setting sun was about to disappear. He lay on the bed with his hands behind his head. He closed his eyes, looking depressed. "I rushed away in a hurry today. I still have to apologize tomorrow." He frowned, looking worried, "But I haven't received any calls all afternoon. Maybe things aren't as serious as I thought." He tiredly pulled the pillow over his handsome face and whispered, "How can things not be serious? The principal was beaten into that state by me." He pulled the pillow and squinted at the ceiling, thinking, "That's right, tomorrow is a holiday. Even if I go, the principal won't be there, right?" He propped his hands on the bed and raised his legs high. He used the momentum to jump up and landed heavily on the floor, dejectedly thinking, "I should still call and apologize first, and then find a chance to meet him in person later." He startled and cried out, looking at the palm of his right hand. It seemed like there was a drawing on it. He looked in panic at the drawing of a blue-haired girl with a cute face that appeared on the palm of his hand. "What is this? When did it get on there?" He hurriedly went to the sink in the bathroom and scrubbed hard. "Why can't it be washed off? Oh my God, is this oil-based ink? How can I clean it?" He looked at his hand annoyed. "I'm a man, what kind of system is it to have this kind of thing printed on my hand?" He frowned, suspecting the old man from this morning. Could it be him? But I looked at the palm of my hand at that time. There was clearly no picture. He put his hands on his hips, suspiciously scratching his head. What did he call me at that time? Immortal, something. He dejectedly fell onto the bed. Today is really an extremely unlucky day. He relaxed his body after a tiring day. All right, let's go to sleep. The drawing on the palm of his hand suddenly emitted a blue light. He was wearing a gorgeous ancient costume, with a solemn face and blue hair floating without wind, looking like an immortal. Where am I? What am I doing here? That's right, it's my fellow brothers and sisters. We made an appointment to practice together. He looked at the people sitting around him suspiciously. Seen your brother, seen your sister, cultivate, what am I talking about? He looked at the beautiful and graceful girl sitting next to him. Who is she? The girl turned her head. Her blue eyes were as bright as containing myriad stars. He was startled, as if he had realized something. That's right, I remember, she is. Suddenly, a group of strangers rushed in from somewhere. The people beside him also rushed over, and rays of light of various colors shone on both sides, fighting fiercely. He looked at this scene in panic and rushed over. This is not good, they are here, I have to help. Suddenly, a sword rushed from behind as fast as lightning and pierced through his chest. He spat out a mouthful of fresh blood and gritted his teeth to look back. A familiar figure appeared in his pupils. It's you. The dream vanished, and he, startled, sat up, propped his hands on his forehead, looking flustered. What nonsense am I dreaming about? He looked at the picture on his hand with a dejected expression. It must be because I encountered all kinds of unlucky things the day before, so I dreamed such nonsense. He touched his chin, immersed in his own thoughts. I don't remember the other things clearly, but I seem to remember all the cultivation methods in the dream. Should I try it? In my dream, a lush pot of plants appeared in the room. He touched the pot of plants, saying that cultivating around plants would have the best effect. He frowned, looking at his hand, and suddenly realized that he was acting unlike a normal person. What am I doing? He sat alone in the room and mumbled, but, oh well, it doesn't matter. What do they call this? Streams of golden light emerged from the pot of plants. He looked seriously at his body absorbing them. That's right, it's chi refining. A strange circular pattern suddenly appeared on the hand with the drawing. The drawing suddenly emitted a dazzling golden light. He lowered his head and looked at it. He looked at it suspiciously. It's unbelievable. I can feel a surge of power pouring into my right hand. Is this the power of this cat sticker? He was stunned for a long time and suddenly uttered a silly sentence. Actually, the longer I look at it, the more adorable this cat is. He hurriedly patted his handsome face. Wake up. What am I thinking? A great idea suddenly appeared in his mind. Why not find a place with many trees and see if the effect is better? Jinyun Botanical Garden. He put his hands in his pockets and went to inspect the surroundings. This place is full of trees and lush vegetation. This place is really not bad. I just need to. He startled and glanced in one direction. He looked up at a thick, old tree, ancient cypress. He touched his chin and looked at the sign in front of the tree, ancient cypress, more than 2,400 years old. No wonder the spiritual energy is so abundant. Ancient cypress. He hurriedly turned his head to check his surroundings. He propped his hands and jumped over the stone fence surrounding the tree. He reached out and touched the trunk of the tree. The chi from He's body emitted countless blue lights that appeared on the surface of the tree trunk. He squinted his eyes and moaned softly, so comfortable. He sat down on the ground. Streams of golden light emanated from his body. Let's cultivate here for a while. Anyway, no one can see me from the outside. A camera caught this moment. 2 security guards stared blankly at the screen. Loudly, what is this person doing? Is he crazy? The 2 people walked and talked. Let's go over there and see. A voice rang out, what's the matter? They saw the old man and respectfully called, Director Yuan. Loudly pointed to the camera and replied, we just discovered a person with strange behavior, and are preparing to go over there and see what's going on. Yuan Qing looked at the surveillance screen suspiciously. He in the screen was doing a series of strange movements. He frowned suspiciously. This move is Tai Chi, but it's not exactly the same. Follow me. The sunlight shone on the lush garden. Yuan Qing raised his hand and instructed, this area is temporarily blocked. Tourists are not allowed to enter. Yes. 2 security guards stood solemnly beside the yellow sign. Countless golden lights flowed into He's body. He put his hands close together, and a dazzling golden ball of light appeared. A voice rang out, startling him, good. He looked at Yuan Qing clapping slowly as he came closer, praising, good boxing. The muscles on He's face instantly stiffened, and cold sweat covered his body. I'm done for. I unconsciously cultivated following my feelings. I forgot that this is a botanical garden. He hurriedly rushed outside and stood in front of the old man, glossing over, you're laughing at me. I'm just practicing. The old man raised his hand to stop him and asked, please stop. I don't know how to address you. What kind of boxing are you practicing? Where did you learn it? He replied with some worry, I can only answer one sentence to what you said. I'm he. A gust of wind blew the leaves past the old man. He put his hands together, his eyes full of confidence. It's okay if it's inconvenient to say. I just hope to be taught a few moves about this boxing. He waved his hand and smiled at him. It's not that it's inconvenient to say, but I really don't know. He didn't think it was right and resolutely raised his hand. Please come this way. He looked at him seriously. Then let's have a duel right here. He touched his head and looked at him suspiciously. You want to fight? He smiled and comforted him. Don't worry, I'll be gentle. He frowned, looking a little worried. He looks like a martial artist, but he's not young anymore. Should I really take action? He startled and watched Yuan Qing rush over like lightning. I'm sorry. He was shocked and leaned back to avoid him, hurriedly saying, Wait. He looked in horror at the fist about to fall on his face. He hurriedly raised his hand to block. He frowned and cried out. A golden halo appeared in front of the old man, and he was thrown away. His feet dragged on the ground, constantly retreating a long distance. He cried out in surprise. The old man propped his hands on the ground and couldn't get up. He hurriedly ran to his side. Are you okay? He stared blankly as he stood up, put his hands together, and looked respectful. Great boxing. I am Yuan Qing, willing to worship you as my master. He helped him up. What is worshipping as a master? We can be friends. He looked suspiciously at the lovely drawing on the palm of his hand. This is? He hurriedly hid it, touched his head, and looked awkwardly. It's just a student's prank. Yuan Qing looked at him in surprise. So, you are a teacher? He laughed and replied, newly appointed. Lao Li looked calmly at Yuan Qing and he walking from afar. Look, the director caught that crazy guy. The two security guards held two batons, ready to arrest him. Director, hand him over to us, send him to the police station or take him to a mental hospital? He looked at them angrily. Preposterous. How can you talk to teacher he like that? The two security guards had question marks all over their heads, looking at the two people chatting happily. Sorry, you're laughing at us. He smiled and replied, not at all. The scene shifted to a villa full of classical features, Yuan Qing's home. A teapot and a cup of hot tea appeared on the table. Yuan Qing looked at him and gestured towards the teapot. Please, this is not a good tea. He looked at the steaming cup of tea, thinking, the director of this botanical garden is so rich, this tea must be expensive. He said seriously, getting down to business, teacher how long have you been on the path of martial arts? He looked at him in surprise. Huh? Martial artist? He was stunned for a long time and then looked at him dejectedly. You can't even say this? He hurriedly waved his hands and smiled awkwardly. No, you misunderstood. He touched his head, looking embarrassed. It's not that I don't want to say it, but I really don't know how to say it. He coughed lightly and said gently, although these martial artists are not known to the world, they have always existed. I only learned a little with the guidance of someone. He put his hands together and smiled at him. Today I said I wanted to worship you as my master. I was serious. I feel that you have at least reached the third level of qi refining. How long have you been practicing? He looked at him blankly and smiled slightly to hide his embarrassment. Huh? Practice since today, is the third level high or low? He was startled, looking horrified. Today? How is that possible? An old lady with a kind face walked out from the inner house. Lao Yuan, you came back early today? Is there a guest? Wan Lao Tai Tai, Yuan Qing's wife. He looked at his wife happily. Come here quickly, meet my master. She looked at he in surprise, startling him. Master? He hurriedly stood up and waved his hands. No, not a master, Lao Yuan is joking. He hurriedly stepped forward to cover Yuan Qing's mouth, interrupting him and smiling awkwardly. No, he really is. Hello madam, I'm he. The old lady closed her eyes and bowed slightly politely. Hello, my husband is obsessed with martial arts. If he says anything strange, don't mind him. He startled and hurriedly replied, not at all, we talk very well. She smiled kindly at him. You two sit down, I'll go get some fruit. He suspiciously pointed to her shoulder. Is your right shoulder a little uncomfortable? She asked her husband in surprise. Did you talk about my shoulder with him? He looked at him suspiciously. No, she's had chronic pain in her right shoulder for many years. Can you see that? He raised his hand and looked at him. How should I say it? A stream of golden light appeared on his right hand. It's just that I remembered something. He remembered a memory of himself wearing ancient clothes and putting his hand on a girl's shoulder. But he only saw her from behind. I also treated her. But who is she? She sat down in a chair. He put his hands on her shoulders, and streams of golden light entered her body. She tried to raise her arm. It really doesn't hurt anymore. Yuan Qing looked at this scene in disbelief. This is a chronic disease that has lasted for more than 20 years. He admired him so much that he put his hands together and bowed respectfully. Teacher you really are a master. I, Yuan Qing, officially worship you as my master. He hurriedly stopped him. Don't, I'll lose years of my life. He knelt down in front of him and bowed. Teacher accept a bow from your disciple. He panicked and hurriedly knelt down and bowed back to him. Consider it my plea, please stand up quickly. A young and beautiful girl walked in happily, calling, Grandpa and Grandma, I'm here to visit you too, Yuan Shanshan. She stared blankly at the scene of the two people bowing to each other. What's going on here? She looked at he in surprise. Teacher. He stood up, looking suspiciously. You know me? She hurriedly confirmed. Teacher, you are the one who saved me yesterday, right? He remembered the scene of the director being intimate with her yesterday morning. He realized, you are that student? She looked at him happily. It's me. Yuan Qing smiled and sighed. So teacher, he also saved my granddaughter. What kind of fate is this? He turned pale and glanced at him. I was mistaken. The person I hit was actually the principal. She frowned at him. No, that person was a pervert. The principal is a woman. He frowned in surprise. Huh? Yuan Lao Tai Tai looked at him suspiciously. You became a teacher without knowing what the principal is like. He dejectedly muttered. When I came, the principal was attending a meeting somewhere else. So. She smiled and teased. So, teacher, the one who is always righteous, is actually such an unreliable person. He looked at her with an awkward smile. She put her hands on her hips and smiled at him. The school has caught the fake principal and planned to inform you, but they couldn't contact you. He picked up his phone and looked at it. Oh, it's out of battery. I didn't notice. Yuan Qing happily talked to his granddaughter. Go to school tomorrow and talk to the principal properly. You must give teacher a big credit. Of course. He touched his head and looked at her awkwardly. Thank you. It's raining heavily. The next day, a heavy rainstorm appeared at Changting High School, and lightning split the sky in two. A beautiful and assertive girl sat on a chair, looking at him seriously. So now you know who the principal is? Principal Mu Qin. He smiled at her. Principal Mu, I know. She looked down at the documents. Anyway, you acted righteously. This is a great credit. A student stood outside the principal's office, eavesdropping on the conversation between the two people. It's raining today. Your physical education class is changed to self-study. Okay? Go introduce yourself to the students. Okay. He put his ear to the door and eavesdropped. What's on his hand? A mischievous student drew on my hand. I don't know why I can't wash it off. He ran into the classroom and started a psychological manipulation. Listen to me, the new teacher is not good. Why? Yuan Shanshan stood up, looking angry. Guofei, don't talk nonsense. Teacher, he saved me. He is a good person. He angrily clenched his fist. A good person? I heard him accuse us, saying that we drew something on his hand, but we have never even met him. Where did this come from? He touched his chin, and some evil thoughts appeared in his mind. Why not prepare a welcome ceremony for him? He, walking in the hallway, also heard Yuan Shanshan's loud voice. Guofei, don't mess around. The drawing on his hand has been covered with tape. He stood outside the classroom, hearing the whispers. He opened the door a crack and looked inside, seeing those kids covering their mouths and looking treacherous. That's not right. Are these kids trapping me? He thought with a dark face. When I walk into the classroom, something will fall on my head. It must be those old tricks. I just need to dodge coolly, and I will definitely scare them. He opened the door and rushed in as fast as lightning. Hello everyone, let's start class. The corners of his mouth slightly raised, looking at the kids. You want to fight me? You are too young. Yuan Shanshan cried out in panic. Teacher, be careful. He startled, looking at her, not noticing a plane coming from afar. It rushed and crashed into his forehead. Guofei clutched his stomach and laughed. Ha ha. The classroom suddenly became silent. He covered his face, hiding his angry expression. I'm about to get angry. The plane came again, and he dodged. He tiptoed, jumped up, trying to grab the plane. Guofei looked at him in surprise. Too strong physically. Yuan Shanshan touched her forehead. Looking like she regretted that iron could not be turned into steel. Teacher wouldn't it be better to just grab him directly? He angrily scolded, Yuan Shanshan, you traitor. Guofei turned pale, looking at he bending his fingers in front of him. That makes sense. He picked up his collar like picking up a chicken and said to the remaining students, you study by yourselves first. Yuan Shanshan was quite angry when she heard the surrounding students gossip. This teacher he doesn't seem very smart, but he looked quite nimble just now. An angry voice rang out in the teacher's office. Teacher's office? What's going on here? How can you bring drones to school? Go write a self-criticism. Guofei walked out of the teacher's office dejectedly. He picked up the plane. He looked at it for a long time, then sighed softly. I have never played with this kind of thing before. He held the remote control, controlling the plane to fly into the air. He smiled happily. It's quite interesting. It flew and hit a teacher who was walking in from outside. She sat down on the brick floor, panting, her glasses cracked. He panicked and hurriedly ran over. I told you, this broken toy shouldn't be brought to school. Look, I haven't even touched it, and it flew up by itself. Are you hurt? She adjusted her cracked glasses and asked suspiciously, I'm okay. I don't think I've ever met you before. Are you a substitute teacher? He replied awkwardly, I am. She pushed a math book into his arms. She said while hurriedly running out the door, then I'll leave the next class to you. He looked at her back suspiciously. Why leave it to me? He realized something in horror. He turned pale, looking at the book in his hand, math. He touched his forehead, looking like this time he was really done for. Life can deceive you, but math can't. If you don't know how to do it, you just don't know how to do it. He clapped his hand on the table, making a loud sound. He propped himself on the table, his head aching like it was being hit with a hammer. No, I'm a teacher. Even if I'm not a math teacher, I can't say I don't know it. He flipped through a few pages of the book to try it out. He startled and realized the truth. I seem to understand it completely now. I used to hate math the most. A teacher walked by, looking at him seriously reading the book. Teacher, are you preparing a lesson? He had question marks all over his head. Looking at him, that's not right. Aren't you a physical education teacher? What are you preparing a lesson for? You're flipping so fast. Can you really read it clearly? Are you planning to play quantum reading comprehension? He seriously read the book, flipping the pages as fast as the wind. His eyes looked seriously. He stood up and closed the book, making a loud noise that startled the people next to him. He put his hands in his pockets, looking confident as he walked out the door. Okay, I'm going to teach now. He opened the door and walked into the classroom, smiling at the class he had just taught the previous lesson. Hello everyone, I'm here again. Guofei frowned, looking at him annoyed. Teacher, why is it you again? You're showing up too much. He smiled, speaking calmly. Today's math class will be taught by me, a physical education teacher. The students discussed worriedly, is this okay? I heard he's a very unreliable teacher. Guofei started to mock. I heard that he's already working and still doesn't know who the principal is. Yuan Shanshan angrily shouted, enough, it's just a little misunderstanding. He raised his hand and patted the board. Okay, everyone be quiet, look at the board. He picked up the chalk and wrote on the board, then immersed himself in his own thoughts. This chi refining or martial artist thing is really useful. My mind has never been so clear. He wrote the formula on the board. He excitedly turned his head to look at the students. I solved it. Everyone look, I solved it. The students discussed suspiciously. Isn't it normal for a teacher to solve a problem? What is he excited about? Maybe for a physical education teacher, this is already a miracle. Yuan Shanshan startled, as if she had discovered something. She looked at him worriedly. Teacher, what's wrong with your hand? This. He looked at her calmly. It's just a small wound, don't worry about it. Guofei didn't think it was right. That's not right. There must be something under that patch. He smiled slyly. I must find a way to expose his secret. The next day, the school was clear and sunny. A teacher slightly bowed to he. Sorry, I was supposed to be the substitute teacher. The person who handed over the job made a mistake. He waved his hand and smiled. It's okay, I can do it. He turned his head and walked into the school, looking confident. This class is physical education. Finally, it's my specialty. He stood there with a proud posture. Let me show you my skills. The students suspiciously looked down. He suddenly realized that he was wearing leather shoes to school. He blushed, scratched his head embarrassedly. Ah, well, I forgot to change my shoes when I went out today. Guofei looked at him annoyed. I'm saying, why is it always you every day? Didn't we already have physical education yesterday? He smiled at him. Wasn't it because it rained yesterday that we changed it to self-study? Now the school is very concerned about the health of the students, don't take it lightly. He smiled slyly at him. Yesterday we saw your math skills, today let us see your physical strength. He looked at him, smiling confidently. What's the matter? You want to test me as soon as you come? No problem. He said calmly. If I don't show you my strength, I guess no one will be convinced. Yuan Shanshan looked at him with some worry. Teacher you are wearing leather shoes, do you need to change to another pair of shoes? He took off his leather shoes. It's okay. He looked confident. I can jump without shoes. She looked at the students around her mocking and laughing ha ha ha. Looking worried, Grandpa said he is a very powerful martial artist, but he doesn't look reliable. She looked at He's handsome face, but he really is a good person, and he's quite handsome. I don't want him to lose face. He warmed up his body and looked at the kids, watched carefully. He rushed forward like an arrow, wondering if demonstrating his strength would shock them. His feet stepped on the white line. He jumped up in the horrified eyes of the students. This is the moment. He jumped high. He startled and cried out. He looked at the vaulting box in front of him in horror. He hurriedly changed his posture but still hit the vaulting box. He fell with a painful thud, lying face down on the ground. He sat up and angrily shouted, Who left the vaulting box here without putting it away? The female physical education teacher walked over and looked at him in surprise. He stared blankly at Guofei. Teacher what are you doing in Class 3's area? He hurriedly waved his hands and looked at the female teacher. Sorry to disturb your lesson. He hurriedly left, leaving the female teacher stunned. The female teacher and the Class 3 students discussed suspiciously. Why did he suddenly appear? I didn't notice, did he jump down from the tree? She looked at the empty physical education field suspiciously. Tree? Back in the classroom, the students hurriedly surrounded him. Teacher you are so amazing, how can you jump so far? Guofei hurriedly came forward and pulled his leg. Teacher, you are wearing booster shoes, right? He was speechless. I'm not even wearing shoes. Yuan Shanshan looked blank and unbelievable. This is not a matter of wearing shoes. Is this even human? She blushed slightly embarrassedly. So Grandpa said he is an extraordinary person. Is this what a martial artist is like? He smiled and scratched his head, thinking, the changes in me now are a bit too much. I have to adjust my strength later. Guofei excitedly held the stopwatch. Teacher show us high jump again, or running is fine, I'll time you. He hurriedly raised his hand to refuse. Spare me. I'm not wearing shoes yet. The jump just now hurt my feet. Let's talk next time. Yuan Shanshan keenly reminded him softly. Teacher the tape on your hand is about to fall off. He waved his hand and instructed, you guys practice here first. I'll go wash my hands for a while, and then come back to check. He removed the tape, revealing the sticker on his palm. He thoughtfully thought, luckily I brought another one. He looked at it suspiciously. What does this picture ultimately mean? What are the dreams I have experienced? He drifted along with his thoughts. Should I go find that crazy old man? A voice rang out, startling him. Teacher The light from the phone's flash was too dazzling, causing him to raise his hand to cover it. Guofei smiled slyly. He smiled, holding the phone and hurriedly running away. I took it. Teacher He drew a cartoon cat on his hand. He angrily shouted, you come back to me. He rushed over and snatched the phone from his hand. He smiled, glancing at him. You brought your phone to physical education class? He raised his finger and deleted the photo. Guofei scratched his head, smiling smugly. Even if you snatch it back, it's useless. I've already sent it to the class group. He turned pale and shouted, What? He dejectedly crossed his arms and bowed his head. The kids surrounded him, laughing and joking. Teacher why did you draw a cartoon on your hand? Can you explain it to us? Guofei smiled smugly. This is what the principal asked about before, right? You even pushed it to us. Tell the truth this time. The student smiled and said, That's right, Teacher just say you're a weeb, we won't laugh at you. He looked up at the sky, looking sad. Actually, there's a very sad story here. The gentle breeze blew past him as he gently narrated, Long ago, I met a beautiful girl. He touched his chin sadly. I loved her very much, willing to give her everything in this world, but I didn't know what to give her. He remembered the back of a girl, At first, we were far apart, meeting little and parting often. He imagined looking at the back of the girl as he rushed toward her. Then, I finally decided to give up everything to pursue her. She turned her head to look at him, but he couldn't see her face. But then many things happened. Her beautiful face seemed to appear before his eyes. I had to break up with her. He startled and suddenly realized, I remember what she looks like now. The students asked one after another, then what happened? What happened to you two later? Such a long story, what does it have to do with the cat in your hand? He glanced at the kids then. Guofei looked smug. You can't keep lying anymore? He frowned, looking annoyed. Anyway, this is our souvenir. I tattooed it on my hand, believe it or not. The girls were heartbroken and shed tears. We believe it. That's a beautiful story. We also believe it. He worriedly discussed with the super mischievous students. Anyway, I can't erase this tattoo, and I don't want to erase it. Can you keep this secret for me? He closed his eyes, looking a little dejected. If a teacher has a tattoo on his body, will the school fire him? The kids hesitated, looking at each other. It's okay. Yuan Shanshan excitedly looked at him. Anyway, I will definitely keep the secret for teacher He. The kids happily laughed and joked. So do we. The kids looked at Guofei with angry expressions. He scratched his face, smiling awkwardly. Actually, I don't hate you either. The two smiled at each other. As long as you return the drone to me, deal. The setting sun shone on the school. He put his hands in his pockets and walked out of the school. He frowned, thinking, go find where that old man is. The security guard made a gesture to invite him. He thought, they said he was someone who just escaped from a mental hospital, so there must be a hospital around here, right? He looked at the large gate of a high-rise building, Anshuan Hospital, Jinyan City, found it, it's really nearby. The doctor dejectedly touched his head, looking at him. You asked about that old man? He ran away again. He turned pale, looking unbelievable. He ran away again? He touched his head, looking around. You are an official hospital, right? The frequency of prison breaks is too high. The doctor angrily shouted, this is not a prison. He looked at him annoyed. You saw it last time too. That old man's strength is surprisingly great. At first we couldn't hold him, and then we couldn't detain him at all. He looked at him suspiciously. So where did he come from? Does anyone know? He touched his chin, looking pensive. He remembered the scene of the old man looking around as if he was looking for something. We don't know specifically where he came from. Anyway, according to the police who brought him, he is always wandering around. He murmured when he heard him say, he is really looking for the Immortal Venerable. He remembered the scene of their first meeting in surprise. Immortal Venerable, I found you. He looked at him helplessly. If you are his relative, go ask the police. We can't help you here. He left the hospital in doubt. What should I do now? These strange things that are happening, I don't know where to find the answer. Countless questions appeared in his mind. Who is the girl in that dream? And what is my ability? Someone is looking for me. Am I the Immortal Venerable? He seemed to realize something. Looking excited, isn't this the classic opening of a novel? Being given the golden key, and then reversing the situation. He looked dejected, feeling like he realized it too late. Unconsciously, he had walked to the gate of the high school where he worked. Why am I back at school? He blankly sighed, not noticing two figures carrying sacks rushing from afar. Oh my God, why am I always so absent-minded? By the time he realized it, the sack was about to cover his head. One person raised a stick to hit him. The other person who was tying the sack said, don't hit him here, take him back first. He struggled violently. Who is it? Let me go. Inside the sack, he gritted his teeth, cold sweat pouring down like rain. Is this kidnapping? Why are there so many people? I can't escape. He tried to use force, but the rope was too tight. He felt power in his body but couldn't release it. He raised his hand to remove the tape covering the sticker. This is what is hindering me. His eyes flashed with a red light as he gritted his teeth. He tensed up and shouted, and the sack was torn to pieces in an instant. The group of people was blown away by his aura. The group of people collapsed on the ground suspiciously. What happened? What exploded? He's face darkened. Who sent you? Why are you looking for me? They looked at him suspiciously. It must be that teacher. It must be him. They looked at his cold eyes, the suspicion in their eyes becoming stronger. Something seems wrong. They were a little scared. What's wrong with this guy suddenly? He feels too powerful. One person gritted his teeth and said, "Never mind, let's rush up together." 2 bolts of electricity flashed in his eyes as he rushed forward like lightning. He punched and kicked continuously, and they couldn't block it, taking hits continuously. He punched one person in the face. When he stopped, they were all lying on the ground. He waved his hand slightly, looking at them coldly. "Are you still fighting?" They struggled to sit up, looking at him in fear. "Monster, monster, humans can't be this strong." He walked over and stepped hard on one person's foot. "My foot." He looked at him angrily as he trembled on the ground. "Why are you causing trouble for me? Who sent you here?" His face paled, sweat pouring down like rain as he looked at him stammering. It's my boss. You messed with my boss. Of course we have to settle the score with you." He coldly asked, "Who is your boss? Who is your boss?" He released his foot and put his hands in his pockets, watching him sit up and explain. "My boss's surname is Xiao, his name is Zhang. That day he just came to school to find his girlfriend. But you hit him." He widened his eyes, and his anger rose again. Preposterous. He annoyedly remembered the guy who pretended to be the principal and tricked him that day, causing him to lose face. "I'm the principal." "Oh, so it was the guy who pretended to be the principal that I caught that day. He even managed to give his name. He's really arrogant." He grabbed his collar, his fists right in front of his face. "What are you talking about? What girlfriend? That female student doesn't even know him. He just infiltrated the school to be a pervert." He hurriedly rummaged out a piece of paper from his pocket. I have proof, you can see for yourself. They have been seeing each other for a long time." He turned pale, looking at a stack of photos of Yuan Shanshan and that jerk. He looked nervous, muttering this. Taking advantage of his shock and inattention, they quickly fled. "Run, run." He looked at the photo in horror. "How can this be? Yuan Shanshan didn't tell me the truth?" The next morning, students poured into the school. "That movie last time. Oh, don't mention it." Seeing he, the kids happily smiled. "Good morning, teacher he." "Hello, teacher he." He walked into the school looking tired, ignoring the kids. His spirit was low. The kids looked at each other suspiciously. "What's wrong with him? He looks like he hasn't woken up yet. Did he stay up all night playing games?" He walked aimlessly on the corridor, drifting along with his thoughts. "This is the first difficult problem in my teaching career. My student is seeing a bad element of society. And she lied to me." He frowned, looking a little worried. "That Xiao Zhang is very dangerous. He has many gangster subordinates. Is Yuan Shanshan being forced?" He turned pale when he pulled out the photo and looked at it again. "But looking at it like this, it doesn't look like she's being forced at all. She's smiling happily." He looked at the photo hesitantly, thinking, should I talk to her? Or directly communicate with her parents? Yuan Qing suddenly appeared, startling him and dropping the photo. "Master, you're here?" He looked at the photo, trying to pick it up. "Oh, your photo fell." He rushed over like lightning, picking up the 3 photos in an instant. Yuan Qing clapped and praised. "As expected of a master, you're really quick." He hurriedly hid the photos behind his back, looking nervous. "Why are you here?" The two happily chatted. "I came to discuss organizing a visit to the Botanical Garden for the students. I happened to meet you. I'm really lucky. Don't call me master anymore. Just call me teacher at school." He thought hesitantly. "Okay, teacher Yuan, should I take this opportunity to tell him about Yuan Shanshan?" The drone appeared behind him. Guofei turned pale and cried out, startling him and discovering him. He looked at the screen on the remote control in disbelief. "What is this?" He raised his hand and caught the drone. He rushed over, grabbed Guofei's collar and smiled at him. "Teacher Yuan, I have to go to class to teach, you go to work first." He smiled and praised. "You are really a dedicated teacher." He propped his hands on his knees, looking nervous at Guofei. "You haven't sent that photo to the class, have you?" He replied, "No." He frowned, looking serious. "Listen, this matter involves personal privacy. You better forget about it. But the person in the photo is really Yuan Shanshan, right? And who is the person with her? Listen, I haven't investigated yet. I'm not sure what their relationship is. Don't spread rumors." He softly taught. "Yuan Shanshan is your classmate. If she has any problems, you should help her, not mock her, understand?" Yuan Shanshan appeared behind him, looking surprised. "What problem do I have?" appearing brightly. He startled, turning pale and looking at her. "Huh, you heard it? I called your name so loudly in the corridor, and you ask if you heard it?" She asked Guofei with a serious expression. Guofei, what's going on? He blurted out without thinking, I don't know, I heard teacher he took a picture of you with some fat guy. He panicked and scolded, your mouth is too fast. She looked at him disappointedly, you secretly took pictures of me, give it here. He gave her the photos, looking serious, I didn't take them, I want to help you, help you. She widened her eyes, looking at the photos in her hand. He grabbed the girl's small shoulders, gently encouraging, Yuan Shanshan, no matter what has happened, I hope you can tell me the truth, teachers always stand on your side. She chuckled. He looked suspiciously at the giggling girl. She smiled, raising the photo, teacher look at what this photo is. She pointed to the photo, who created this photo, and it's the most basic type, the worst quality. He turned pale, looking at Yuan Shanshan who was constantly laughing, such an obviously problematic photo, and I didn't realize it? He crumpled the photo in his hand, looking angry, that jerk Xiao Zhang. He turned around and left angrily, replying, watch me go deal with him. She hurriedly stopped him, wait, teacher She looked at him a little worried, teacher, my grandpa has investigated, that Xiao Zhang is not a simple hooligan, but a boss of an organization, who knows many martial artists. She frowned, looking at him, so it's better if you don't go making trouble with him. He was shocked, his eyes flashing with anger. I thought martial artists were all righteous heroes. How can there be people associating with this kind of person? The quiet corridor suddenly became crowded, countless students appeared, discussing, someone is going to jump off the building, it's the Yu from class 2 of the 11th grade. Yuan Shanshan looked at him in horror, she's in my class. Everyone stood on the ground, looking up at the girl sitting on the window of the 5th floor. She sat there, her head down, her long hair covering part of her gloomy face. She closed her eyes, tears streaming down her face like a spring. Du. The other students looked up at her, discussing, what's going on? I heard she was defamed online. Defamed? Wasn't there a photo? He and Yuan Shanshan hurriedly ran to the scene. What photo? That's a fake photo, who created it? It's even more realistic than a normal fake photo, it seems like she offended someone outside the school. Is it that Xiao Zhang? He angrily gritted his teeth. It's him again. He rushed up the stairs like an arrow, taking 3 steps at a time. Yuan Shanshan cried out in panic, teacher The other teachers had already appeared, they softly persuaded, Du, calm down. She shouted loudly, everyone stay away. A female teacher said in a panic, we know that photo is fake, the police are also investigating who spread the rumors, don't do anything foolish. She waved her hand, her voice full of despair, what's the use of you believing me? That photo has already spread all over the internet, my life is over. Yu muttered, I only have the path of death left. She let go of her hand and jumped down in the screams of the teachers, Du, don't. He appeared behind the teachers, shouting loudly, get out of the way. He rushed out of the window, chasing after Yu, the one who deserves to die is not you. The teachers cried out in panic, he jumped down. He rushed down and the surprised cries of everyone, this is the 5th floor. A golden light appeared on his right hand. He rushed over like lightning. He successfully caught her before she fell. Yuan Shanshan shouted in panic, teacher He rushed straight down to the ground, squatting on his knees, landing with both feet. The students looked at him with admiration, amazing, he knows Qigong, jumping from the 5th floor without any injuries. Yu trembled and muttered, I didn't die. He frowned, looking at her, I said the one who deserves to die is someone else. She bit her lip and cried softly. Yuan Shanshan softly comforted the girl who was covering her face and crying, it's okay now, teacher he is here. He cracked his knuckles, his anger rising, daring to harm my student, just you wait. A voice rang out in a high-rise building, a front company, Uncle Wei, thank you for pulling me out, I didn't expect to suffer such a loss this time. De Wei looked at Xiao Zhang sternly, you have to be careful, part of my assets are in your business. He hurriedly replied, Uncle Wei, yes, yes. A hurried voice rang out next to the door, what's going on? You can't come in. He walked in majestically, the bodyguard worriedly said, Boss Xiao, he insisted on rushing in, we couldn't stop him. Xiao Zhang looked at him in surprise, it's you. He smiled and asked, is he alone? Are there police following behind? No. He breathed a sigh of relief, you scared me, I thought the police were here. De Wei looked at him suspiciously. Who are you? Xiao Zhang interrupted him, instructing, no matter who he is, As long as he's not a policeman, throw him out. A group of people carrying iron rods appeared. Get out, are you people from the opposing gang here to smash the place? He glanced at them, thinking, these are all petty hooligans. He looked at Dewey again. Only that person is a high-level martial artist, then just deal with him, and it's over. The hooligan smashed a stick down, and he turned around to dodge. He punched a knockout into his face. The group of people looked at this scene and hurriedly shouted, this guy is also somewhat skilled. Everyone rush up. The wooden table flew straight into one person's head, breaking in two. One person fell onto the broken table, lying motionless. Xiao Zhang looked worriedly at them fighting. You guys be careful, my computers were all bought with money. Dewey looked at him calmly. Do you think they can worry about anything else? That kid is not an ordinary person. Huh? He frowned, looking at him fighting fiercely. He is also a martial artist, but he is still young, not worth worrying about. Xiao Zhang hurriedly ran behind, pushing him forward, looking fawning. Uncle Wei, I'm counting on you. He looked at him disdainfully. Kid, give your name. Where did you learn martial arts? I don't want to take action against people from the same family. After dealing with the lackeys. He looked at him, rubbing his fists. Who is in the same family with you? Do you know what this jerk has done? You are all in the same gang. He stood in a stance, golden light appearing from his body. My name is He, a high school teacher. Today I came here to seek justice for my students. He slightly curled his lips and smiled. High school teacher, I thought you were a disciple of some sect. In that case, I don't need to be lenient when teaching you a lesson. He angrily pointed at Xiao Zhang. The person I'm looking for is not you, but him. Xiao Zhang smiled, pointing at Dewey. If you want to find me, you have to win against Uncle Wei first. He calmly explained, he is just an ordinary person. Martial artists should naturally face martial artists. Only then is it worthy of the title of righteous chivalry. He startled when he heard these four words come from his mouth. Righteous chivalry. He angrily pointed at Xiao Zhang, scolding, this trash fabricates and slanders female students, creates fake photos and videos, and extorts money everywhere. You're protecting him and you still dare to talk about the two words of righteousness? Xiao Zhang chuckled, looking at Dewey, acting recklessly. What he does is his business, I don't know, so you can't blame me. He angrily gnashed his teeth. Hypocrite. His voice seemed to grate through every tooth. Standing by and watching, benefiting from the situation, you are even more disgusting than the scum behind you. He frowned, listening to his voice. I understand, no matter righteousness or reason, it's all based on strength. He was so angry that he trembled. Before I defeat you, whatever I say is useless. He curled his lips, smiling contemptuously. Looking at the aura on your body, your kung fu is not bad, but it's useless. A golden halo appeared under his feet. Xiao Zhang looked at Dewey floating in the air in surprise. Uncle Wei is flying. Xiao Zhang laughed. He said viciously, see, Uncle Wei is an immortal who has attained the Tao. Today you will definitely die here. Dewey looked at him unhappily. What immortal? This is just a little trick of martial artists. He hurriedly flattered, yes. While he was still bragging, he rushed over like lightning. Let me teach this kid a lesson. A punch to his face broke a tooth and spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. The extremely strong force sent him flying in Xiao Zhang's horrified eyes. His cold voice rang out, causing his face to turn pale. I thought you were just an ordinary old hooligan. I didn't expect the sins you committed to be even greater. He panicked, sweat pouring down like rain. Wait, there is a misunderstanding here. He startled, looking at him raising his fist. From the beginning, you pretended to be the principal to trick me, and now you're hiring people to beat me. What misunderstanding is there? He frantically covered his face. From beginning to end, it was all a misunderstanding. I never said I was the principal. I said my name was Xiao Zhang. He was stunned for a moment. On this point, I really did misunderstand you. He punched him in the face, shouting, but apart from that, what else is there? He angrily shouted, not paying attention to Dewey approaching, you harass my student, and fabricate and slander her. What are you complaining about here? He angrily kicked him, and he leaned over to dodge. You little brat, do you think it's over after defeating me? He's face darkened. His anger had reached its peak. This matter had nothing to do with you. I was originally planning to leave you a way out, but you don't know what's good for you. A monstrous murderous aura shot out from his eyes. Then I have no choice but to kill you first. He startled, suppressing his anger. Wait. He looked at his body suspiciously. What did I just say? I just said I would kill him? He touched his chin, looking disdainful. Are you scared now? He was sweating, looking nervous. In the moment just now, I really felt like it would be okay to kill him, but this is a society ruled by law. Fighting and killing people is illegal. He was shocked, as if he had realized something. That's right, since the tape on my hand fell off, I have had strange thoughts that I can't control. He looked at the sticker in horror. Could it be that this thing is affecting me? He arrogantly rushed over. I'm here. What are you staring blankly for? He punched him in the face, and he lightly dodged. Golden light appeared behind him. He jumped up and kicked him in the back. He raised his leg and kicked him. He slid on the floor for a considerable distance. He silently looked at his hand. He thought a little worriedly, unconsciously, it seems like I've become stronger. He looked suspiciously at the man trembling on the ground. Moreover, as soon as he saw him, he knew he was a high-level martial disciple. Why could he tell? He scratched his head, frowning. It was as if some memory was gradually recovering. The man stroked his chin and leaned slightly against the sofa next to him. Kid, you think I'm just a martial artist? 3 pieces of paper emitting blue light appeared in his hand. I'm also from the Tian Sher clan. 4 green skulls appeared around him. He raised his hand, and the 4 skulls rushed towards him. Go die. He looked at him in surprise. After the physical attacks, now he was switching to magic? Streams of blue light clung to his body. What is this? The man wore an evil expression. Look, these ghost fires will suck away all your young energy. He covered his face and felt it. This fire is so cold. He shouted, and golden light filled his eyes. This is... Countless golden lights emanated from his body, repelling the ghost fire. The man screamed in horror. What? 4 blue flames floated beside him. His voice was cold. Commanding ghosts to harm people. Are you even worthy of being called a Tian Sher? Golden light converged on his fingertips. He shouted, return. The ghost fire turned back and burned him. He cried out in pain. A room on a high-rise building was ablaze. Black smoke billowed out. Step back a little. Yuan Qing watched the scene silently. Firefighters shouted urgently as the victim was carried out. Don't crowd around. Everyone looked in surprise at Dewey's face, which was charred black and still smoking. What happened? The person's burned, but the clothes are fine. Spontaneous combustion? A police officer was taking a statement from a nearby store. Someone called the police just now, right? Yes, a young man. The shop owner recounted in surprise. Few people use my phone these days, so I found it a bit strange. Yuan Qing called out happily, Teacher He quickly raised his hand to signal. He looked at him in surprise. You're the one who did it? He touched his forehead, looking frustrated. It's me, but don't ask me how. I don't know. He stared at him in shock. I just examined the victim. This kind of burning is like the ghost fire used by Tian Sher. How did you do it? He paled and rubbed his head. I told you not to ask. I don't know. Okay, I won't ask anymore. He looked suspiciously at the 2 burly men standing not far away. Director Yuan, why are you here? He smiled and replied, San told me that you might be in danger. So I brought some people to help. But it seems it's not needed. Dewey, lying on the hospital bed, still had the strength to shout, just you wait. The Tian Sher Fu will not spare you. The doctor quickly held him down. Patient, be quiet. He looked at Yuan Qing in confusion. Tian Sher Fu? What's that? He grabbed his shoulders, looking worried. The Tian Sher Fu is full of martial arts masters, and they're not ordinary people. Teacher you'd better hide for a while. He said dejectedly, where can I hide? I still have to teach. He took out a gold card and gave it to him. You can take sick leave. He looked at the card in surprise. What's this? He explained happily, I have some hot spring clubs. They have all kinds of food, entertainment, and a lot of greenery. It's very suitable for cultivation. He looked at him with interest. Director Yuan, you're amazing. Are you just the director of a botanical garden? He stroked his beard and smiled. It's just a small business. He sat in his luxurious black car, preparing to leave. Come visit any time. You can bring your friends too. Thank you. He waved goodbye. He looked at the gold card and thought happily, great, I don't need to ask for leave. I can go play there on the weekend. An elegant club nestled in the misty clouds, Qingye Hot Spring Club. He soaked in the warm water, relaxing and groaning softly. So comfortable. He looked at the pools next to him, with only a few people scattered around. Does this place have a membership system? Not crowded, that's good. He looked at the sticker emitting golden light in his palm. Too many things have happened recently. I still haven't been able to piece anything together. He drifted along with his thoughts. But at least things aren't too bad. After learning how to cultivate in my dreams, my physique has improved significantly. A voice rang out, startling him. I was wondering why the spiritual energy from all directions was gathering here. So it's because you're here. An old man with a white beard and hair held a net and bowed his head to look at him. This old man has been looking for you for so long. He looked at him suspiciously. You are. He realized in shock, it's you. You're that crazy old man from that day. The old man's expression was serious. He pointed to the sticker on his hand and asked quickly, Is this what you put on my hand? What exactly is it? He stared blankly as the old man knelt on the ground and cried out, Celestial Venerable. He panicked and quickly helped him up. What are you doing? Get up. The people soaking around them looked at them suspiciously. What's going on? Kneeling down? He panicked and hurriedly pulled him up. Get up. You're old, don't kneel to me. People will think something's wrong. He trembled and sobbed, Celestial Venerable, in front of you, I'm just a child. He irritably pulled him away. You're crazy. If you don't get up, I'll go crazy too. Okay, old man, let's go somewhere else to talk. The two sat on lounge chairs, looking at each other. He said casually, Old man, do you have a way to contact your family? Or should I take you to the hospital? He looked at him seriously. Celestial Venerable, I'm not crazy. He looked at the old man suspiciously. From the first time you met me, you called me Celestial Venerable. What does that title have to do with me? He looked at him worriedly. Celestial Venerable, do you really not remember who you are? He pointed to his forehead. A stream of golden light entered his glabella. No joke. Who do you think I am? Celestial Venerable, please forgive me. His hair flew without wind. He cried out in surprise, Huh? The golden light turned into a vortex spinning around him. The scenes of fighting and blood splattering like in his dreams were vividly reproduced. He was wearing ancient clothing, holding a girl's hand and shouting, Run! A sword pierced through his chest from behind. He spat out a mouthful of blood, gritting his teeth. You! He was falling freely. Fresh blood poured out like a spring. He fell into a place with treacherous mountains. Myriad aspects Celestial Venerable. The figure of the girl seemed to be rushing down, wanting to pull him up. She was panicked and tearful, holding an animal in her arms that resembled the sticker in his hand. He stared, startled. He sat up abruptly and said suspiciously, What's with that cat? He turned his head towards the voice. Have you remembered everything? Oh, Yang Dao patted his shoulder worriedly. He touched his head, his voice faltering. I remember some things. He recounted what he remembered. I was called Myriad Aspects Celestial Venerable, from the Myriad Aspects sect. I went through a great battle and was betrayed by someone. That's right. His voice rang out, You are Yang Dao, once my immortal attendant. He smiled brightly. Yes, you finally remembered. He looked at his hand doubtfully. No, instead of saying I remembered, it's more like a lot of information was put into my head. Are these really my memories? Yang Dao explained, Your memories may still be largely sealed. I only gently stimulated a little from what I know and think. Gradually, you will remember everything. He raised his hand with the sticker on it doubtfully. Then, in the pattern in my memory, there is a girl holding a doll. Who is she? He looked at him sadly and worriedly. She is your wife, Immortal Qinghe. After that great battle, I don't know where she went. He was shocked. He looked at the sticker suspiciously. Wife? He looked at the sticker and said gently, This mark contains your original power. Years ago, you entrusted it to me to safeguard, saying it was to guard against unforeseen circumstances. His voice startled him. This is the seed of your rebirth. I didn't expect it to come true. I heard that this is also a token of love between you and Immortal Qinghe. He turned his head to look at him, his expression unbelievable. Hey, I used to just joke to fool students. I didn't expect it to be true? He pondered for a moment and replied, Perhaps it wasn't fabricated, but you inadvertently recalled the memories of the past. He clenched his fist, a thoughtful expression on his face. It's really magical. He looked at him suspiciously. Where did you come from? How did you find me? He recounted the situation at that time. It's a long story. That day, before the great battle, you gave me this mark to keep safe. At that time, I was just a child. And no one paid attention to where I went. He continued, at that time, you told me to go as far away as possible, so I didn't know the outcome of the battle. I only heard that you had sacrificed in that battle. He remembered himself crying as he left the Myriad Aspects sect. He cried, but his eyes were full of determination. I didn't believe the news that you had passed away. I searched everywhere, asking people about your whereabouts. But they all said that your soul was no longer in the immortal realm. While flying in space, he suddenly saw Earth. I searched for you for thousands of years in all the worlds, and finally discovered your traces on Earth. He touched his shoulder, comforting him softly. You've worked hard. It's worth it to find me. He smiled wryly and raised his hand. But what you said about the immortal realm and the sect, looking at this, it's obviously not related at all. This is clearly a cartoon cat that's popular on Earth. He stroked his beard, pondering. I didn't understand at first. He put forward a reasonable hypothesis. But when I found you on Earth, I thought that maybe you had ascended to the immortal realm from here. He disagreed. Then this is a local specialty that I brought with me, but it's been thousands of years. Yang Dao replied gently, time flows differently in the immortal realm and Earth, so that's possible. He looked at him worriedly. So what are your plans now? Let me tell you in advance, I can't follow you back to the immortal realm, because I have a family here. He lowered his head sadly. Even if I wanted to go back, I can't right now. Why? He stroked his beard and looked at him worriedly. The spiritual energy on Earth is too thin. After coming here, I have spent a lot of spiritual energy, and I can't replenish it. He looked at him worriedly. You can't go back? Then what should I do? Can I contact the aerospace agency? Can they help? He quickly waved his hand. No way. He remembered the Golden Gate. The only chance to return is to wait for the Immortal Gate to open. He frowned and looked at him. Where is the Immortal Gate? I don't know when it will open. He shook his head repeatedly, indicating he didn't know. I don't know. He squinted, annoyed, and looked at him. Are you kidding me? He sweated as he looked at him. I really don't know. I have to wait for the spiritual energy on Earth to become dense again. It could be a few years, or it could be a few hundred years. A few hundred years? He shouted angrily. I'll be ashes by then. He quickly comforted him. Celestial Venerable, don't worry. With your ability, you will soon achieve an indestructible body. Really? He stood up, smiling at him. Let's talk about you. Do you have a place to stay now? Or come to my house? He scratched his head, looking a little embarrassed. But I'm renting it. It's not very big. He stood up and grabbed his hand, crying with joy. So many years have passed, and Celestial Venerable still takes care of me like this. He comforted him, don't cry. He knelt on the ground. I only found home again when I found Celestial Venerable. He panicked and quickly stopped him. Don't always kneel down like this. What will people think if they see you? The sound of taking pictures with a phone rang out. He turned his head in shock. He looked at him in surprise. Celestial Venerable, what's wrong? He looked around as if searching for something. I feel like someone's watching me. He looked at the old man seriously. Forget it, maybe it's just an illusion. Let's go to your place. I'll discuss it with Lao Yuan. The two walked and talked. I have cultivated a true body, and I don't eat or drink. The place to live is also, not eating, not drinking, not sleeping, that's a pity. Just listen to my arrangements. A gentle breeze blew through an ancient villa, Yuan Qing's house. Yuan Qing looked at him doubtfully. Help arrange for someone? He replied without hesitation, no problem. There are private rooms and dining rooms in Qingye Hot Springs. I'll tell them to let him stay as long as he likes. He looked at him and smiled. Thank you so much. He held a cup of tea, looking at him seriously. Actually, I have something else to come here for this time. He looked at him doubtfully, raising two fingers. This is... He raised his finger to his glabella. Haven't you always wanted to improve on the path of martial artist? I remembered some things. A stream of golden light appeared on his fingertip. He pointed at his glabella. He froze for a long time. He looked at his body excitedly. This feeling. He stood up, smiling at him. I have never felt so comfortable. He looked at him and explained with a smile, You are old, and your ability is limited. I can only help you rise from martial disciple to martial master. He replied quickly. That's enough, that's enough. I thought I wouldn't make any progress in this life. He knelt on one knee, cupping his hands and bowing respectfully. Thank you, master. He quickly helped him up, complaining tiredly, Don't, why does everyone kneel at the drop of a hat? The two looked at each other and laughed heartily. The next day, Confronting High School. He glanced in one direction suspiciously. In front of the school bulletin board, a group of students gathered, talking. This is from our school. Yes, it's him. It's too much. Yuan San jumped when she heard the call. Yuan San. She panicked and quickly covered his mouth. Keep your voice down. Her voice rang out in a hidden corner. Come here. Her expression was serious. Teacher where did you go yesterday? His expression was calm. Yesterday I went to a hot spring, the Qingye hot spring. She jumped in shock. So it's true? He looked at her doubtfully. What's true? She opened her phone for him to see. On the phone was a photo of Yang Dao kneeling before him yesterday. Going to places that cost a lot of money, and bullying elderly employees? He snatched the phone, looking angry. I felt like someone was following me yesterday. Sure enough. Her eyes widened in disbelief. So you don't deny it? You really made that old man kneel? He frowned, looking at the phone. He knelt, but it wasn't me. She interrupted him. Is that the kind of person you are? He looked at the phone, looking dejected. He looked at the pale girl, forcing a smile. Let me explain. She snatched the phone back from his hand. San teared up, turned around angrily, and left. Teacher I misjudged you. In the principal's office. Mu Qin touched her forehead, looking tired. There isn't a day that you don't make trouble for me. He quickly explained, I can't be blamed for this. He just knelt down. I was also shocked. She looked at him seriously. So the picture is real? His expression was tense. It's real, but there's a reason. She stroked her chin, thinking. Then you have to find a way to clarify this, because it has now become the focus of the news. He scratched his head, thinking it wasn't important. What's the point of clarifying this malicious rumor? She analyzed softly. Currently, the information about your identity is true, and the event and location are also real. The only point of contention is the reason you give. He was shocked when he heard her decision. If you don't clarify this matter, I have no choice but to represent the school to fire you. He frowned, thinking. He turned his head, looking at her seriously. I understand. I'll go back and think of a way myself, She looked at him, her eyes flashing with trust. But as for me, I believe that you are not that kind of person. If you need any help, let me know. He glanced at her, and waved his hand. Thank you. He walked out of the principal's office, looking tired. He smiled slightly. This matter is simple. I just need to find Yang Dao and have him tell the truth. A voice rang out in the hot spring area. Yang Dao is gone. He looked at Yuan Qing, his face pale. Yang Dao is gone? He frowned, looking at him. I only found out about this today. He told the room service that he would be leaving for a while. He quickly asked, What about the phone number? He turned his head, covering his face with his hands, his face pale, and cried out miserably. He doesn't have a phone. Yuan Qing proposed, If you just want to clarify that matter, I can retrieve the camera footage here so everyone can see the whole thing, and that can clear up the misunderstanding. He quickly replied, That makes sense. Quickly retrieve the camera footage. Inside the monitoring room. Yuan Qing frowned, looking at him. It's not possible. That place is a blind spot for the camera. It can only record the nearby area. He turned pale, sweating all over. Why is that? He pointed to the screen in shock. Wait, zoom in on this place. He pointed to an old man sitting in a corner, taking secret photos. This picture was taken by this person. He seemed to remember something unusual. I remember now. An employee talked about this strange thing. They said that yesterday a bandaged man wanted to come in. But the employee was afraid that he would be injured and not suitable for bathing in the hot springs. He only said that he was going inside to use it as a reference for his friends. His face turned black instantly. I know who he is. Yuan Qing looked at him in surprise. You can still recognize him even when he's wrapped up? He was so angry that he was shaking, gnashing his teeth. From the posture and actions, it can be seen that he is that arrogant person. A voice rang out in the hospital. The news has spread. Xiao Zhang looked at Dewey irritably. Making such a fuss? Do you have to put in so much effort? Can't the Tian Sher Fu directly deal with that kid? He shouted angrily, What do you understand? His whole body was wrapped in bandages like an ancient Egyptian mummy. The Tian Sher Fu needs to save face. Beating people unreasonably will be considered a thug. First, you have to ruin his reputation, then it can be considered as carrying out justice. He sighed, looking a little dejected. To be honest, I don't want to provoke that kid anymore. His strength is really too terrifying. He suddenly sat up, shouting, startling Xiao Zhang. If I could still move, I wouldn't have to rely on you, a cowardly and useless guy, to do things. What's so strong about him? I'll let you see the strength of the Tian Sher Fu. He smiled evilly. There are martial general level characters in the Tian Sher Fu. To the Tian Sher Fu. He stood in front of an alley. Dewey's voice rang out. He's no different from an ant, Pai Shi. He looked annoyed. He walked into a casino, looking around. The noisy voices entered his ears. 3 cards, whoosh, I won. He stood in front of a door. 2 burly men quickly blocked him. What are you doing? You can't go inside. If you want to gamble, go outside. He raised his hand and pushed him. He pushed the person next to him again. A golden halo appeared around his palm. He looked very gentle as he pushed the 2 people lying scattered on the ground. Looking for someone. He was shocked to discover something. This is... He looked angrily at the 2 men at the gambling table. Gambling den, gambling? The 2 men saw him and ran away quickly. Let's go. He grabbed one by the collar. He raised his hand and slapped him, knocking him to the ground. He quickly raised his hand to cover his head, saying in fear, I just sat down. I haven't played yet. He slapped him angrily. Shut up, listen to me. He touched his face. Who are you? He looked at him annoyed. Where is your boss? He looked at him in fear. I haven't been with him for a long time. It's useless to ask me. He pointed straight at his face, a slight smile on the corner of his mouth. You haven't been with him for a long time? A few days ago, weren't you the one who snatched my bag? He was shocked. It's you! A group of burly men appeared, their faces sullen. Get out of the way. Who do you think you are, daring to cause trouble here? They grabbed his shoulders, intending to drag him away. Let go, come with us. Blue light flashed in his eyes. He suppressed his anger. Golden light suddenly radiated, and they were all thrown away. He held a mahjong tile. You don't know, or you don't want to say? He crushed the tile in an instant, threatening coldly. I may not be able to find your boss, but it's very easy to find you. Is it worth it for you to sell your life for him? He was shocked, his face turning pale. He begged tearfully, Spare me, I'll tell you. Tian Sher Fu. A voice rang out in the ancient house. Li Tian Sher, save me. He is looking for me everywhere. Xiao Zhang was trying to persuade someone. I'm just following Oi Shu's words. The Tian Sher Fu can't abandon me. His index finger pushed open the lid of the teacup. His expression was calm. Don't worry, Dewey is my junior brother. I will definitely help his people, Li Tian Sher. He frowned and looked at him doubtfully. But how did Dewey fail in the hands of an unknown kid like that? Xiao Zhang looked at Li Tian Sher worriedly. I don't understand anything, but that kid is very good at fighting. Don't underestimate him. His voice rang out, I have investigated his background. He smiled contemptuously. Just a son abandoned by the He family, nothing to fear. A servant came to report Tian Sher. Someone said they want to meet Mr. Xiao. What do you think? He was frightened and quickly hid behind Li Tian Sher. He's here. He reassured him, what's the panic? First let the disciples go up. It's also time for them to practice. He smiled and stroked his beard. If the person who comes can pass their level then... He was surprised to hear the commotion outside the room. What's going on? The door burst open. He grabbed a disciple by the collar and walked in. This is the Tian Sher Fu? He released the disciple and shouted angrily, I'm here to find Xiao Zhang. Where is he? The Tian Sher stood up and shouted, insolent brat. This is the Tian Sher Fu. It's not a place where you can come and go as you please to find someone. He pointed at his face angrily and shouted, the one I'm looking for is the Tian Sher Fu. Besides Xiao Zhang, the one called Oi Shu, is he from your Fu? He frowned and looked at him. So what if he is? He squinted and smiled slightly. Good if he is. He angrily gnashed his teeth, looking at him. Golden light radiated in all directions. The people in the Tian Sher Fu are acting incorrectly. I will teach you a lesson in their place. As a result, he did not repent but came to trouble me. He was frightened. He looked at him with some apprehension, thinking of retreating. This kid's aura is terrifying. He's not an ordinary person. He reached out and took the teacup on the table, intending to take the initiative to seize the person. He circulated his energy and shot the teacup towards him. Here. He looked at him. His hand flicked slightly. The teacup flew straight towards the screen behind him, in the horrified eyes of the Tian Sher and Xiao Shang. Half of the teacup was buried deep in the wall, and the surface had not a single crack. The teacup was still emitting white smoke. He glanced at the teacup, his face pale. This person is a martial master? No, maybe even higher than that. Don't even mention me. Even if my teacher came, he might not be able to defeat him. He reached out, looking at him, making a gesture of invitation. Come again. The Tian Sher broke out in a cold sweat and remained silent for a long time. He lowered his head, admitting defeat in the horrified eyes of Xiao Zhang. Great Master is generous. Please forgive me for being blind. The Tian Sher smiled kindly, inviting in a low voice, Mr. He, please sit down. Xiao Zhang looked at him in fear. Li Tian Sher, what are you doing? Aren't you avenging this grudge? He turned his head, his attitude changed immediately, scolding Xiao Zhang, avenge what? You and that Dewey out there are ruining people's reputation. What's wrong with him teaching you a lesson? He smiled softly. This person is not from my Tian Sher Fu. You can take him away as you please. As for Oi Shidi, I will tell him to come to the door to apologize later. What do you think? Xiao Zhang tried to grab onto a lifeline in fear. You can't be like this. You just said that you had investigated this kid's background. He's an illegitimate child of the He family. He's nothing to worry about. He grabbed his collar angrily and shouted, Who are you calling a wife? I'm a man. I'm not. He gnashed his teeth, his anger rising again. You even investigated me. You're good. He waved his hands quickly. Don't be angry. This guy's mind doesn't seem normal. He turned pale and quickly changed the subject. I know it was wrong to investigate your background without your permission, but I also obtained some other information. Don't you want to know about your mother's situation? He frowned, looking at him. My mother, she passed away when I was young. He was overjoyed, standing up and approaching him. It seems there are some things your father didn't tell you. He looked at him, his voice hissing through his teeth. Explain it clearly. He looked at him in fear. Yes, he said gently. Your He family is not too famous here, but in Shangjing, it is one of the largest families, leading the region. He shouted angrily, What nonsense are you talking about? He frowned, pointing at himself. My hometown is indeed in Shangjing, but my whole family are ordinary people. What large family? He replied, perhaps for some reason. Your father didn't tell you the truth. He smiled, making amends. In that case, how about this? You go back and ask your father, confirm whether it's true or not. If you don't believe me, I can't force you to believe me either. He stroked his chin, thinking for a long time. He looked at him, threatening. All right, anyway, you people in the Tian Sher Fu won't get away with it. That's right. He pointed to Xiao Zhang, who was cowering in fear. And this guy. He smiled as he sent him out. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. This person, along with that Dewey, I'll help you clean them up, ensuring that you won't have to see their faces in Jinyun City again. He begged tearfully, Don't, Great Master Li. The two walked out the door, discussing. Those rumors, please help me deal with them. No problem. All right, then I'll go now. He looked at his receding figure enthusiastically, Come often in the future, let's be friends. Hearing Xiao Zhang's voice, the Tian Sher's expression suddenly turned dark. Li Tian Sher, you wouldn't. He trembled with anger, his eyes filled with murderous intent. Get out now! If I see you again, I'm not sure I can protect your life. The setting sun shone on the city. He was on the phone on his way back. Hello, Anzi? Big brother Anzi, is Dad there? Tell him to answer the phone. The two siblings chatted happily. Brother, you haven't been home for so long, don't you miss me? Of course I do. How's your leg? It's still the same. The girl smiled and replied, Dad has contacted a new doctor, and I'm going there for a checkup these days. He's father came over. Is that Xiaoyi calling? Son, let me talk to you. He took the phone, smiling happily. Xiaoyi, is work going well? He closed his eyes and finally said what was on his mind. Dad, is my mother still alive? His eyes widened in shock. He pressed, Who told you that? He's voice was so clear that Anzi could also hear it. Is it true? Why did you hide it from me? He frowned, looking a little worried. It's not that I intentionally hid it. You were seriously ill when you were little and forgot many things. I wanted you to worry less. So I simply said that your mother had passed away. He lowered his head, covering his face, his voice tired. Why am I having memory loss? How many things have I forgotten in these 2 lifetimes? What are you talking about? He quickly changed the subject. Nothing. So Dad, our family is not an ordinary family, right? He asked excitedly. Could it be that our family is actually a world-class billionaire? He looked at the phone dejectedly. That's not it. Otherwise, Dad would have paid off the house loan long ago. That makes sense. The two fathers and sons chatted happily as if nothing had happened. There are many things, wait for a chance, we'll talk after we meet. Then I'll take a leave to go home now. Don't say it now, Dad is about to take your sister for a medical examination in a distant place, and then we will decide on the time later. He asked a little worriedly, That's right, my sister's illness, maybe I can cure my sister's illness? He drifted along with his thoughts. No, I still need to improve before I can say that. Don't let my sister be treated incorrectly. What? He comforted his father and hung up the phone. It's okay, Dad, just take my sister for treatment first, and then contact me later. He raised his head, looking at the setting sun. At first I just wanted to solve some problems, but in the end, more mysteries arose. Tian Sher Fu. Li Tian Sher stood behind an old Taoist priest, saying respectfully, Master, it was his action. He stroked his white beard, speculating, that person is probably a great martial master. With such strength, even I would find it difficult to defeat him, Zheng Feng. The Tian Sher looked at his master with some worry. Master, you are the great martial master, do you mean that He's ability surpasses even you? He looked at his disciple calmly. Such a talented person, it seems that there will be a big change in Jinyun City soon. He instructed seriously, Shaoli, in the future, you must treat this person with courtesy and not offend him. Yes, Master. A voice rang out, the rumors have been resolved? Botanical Garden. He smiled, looking at Yuan Qing. That's right, I heard that they have expelled those 2 people from Jinyun City and even went online to correct the information. He looked at him with some worry. That's good. I'm also looking for that Ouyang, but there may be some trouble. Why? He gave him a phone. Take a look at this. In the clip, Yang Dao looked around, as if looking for something. I tried to retrieve some surveillance cameras, and finally saw him here, and then... He looked at the phone in shock. Where did he go? Yuan Qing looked at him suspiciously. Can't find him anymore, and there are no records of him leaving the city, no plane tickets, train tickets, or bus tickets. He stroked his chin, thinking. It seems that he has other abilities that can't be tracked. He smiled, comforting him. Don't worry, if he said goodbye when he left, then he will definitely come back. He touched his head dejectedly. I just don't know when that will be. He waved goodbye to the luxury car leaving. A person wearing a sanitation worker's uniform pushed a trash cart out. He accidentally bumped into the person's shoulder. Sorry. He glanced suspiciously at the man. He turned back to look. That person seemed to be... He looked suspiciously at his receding figure. Could it be him? He stood waiting in front of the elevator. The door opened. He stepped inside. He heard a strange sound on the roof of the elevator. He stepped out of the elevator. He turned his head back in shock. He looked at the elevator falling down, his face pale. Everyone around him was startled in fear. Too scary, the elevator fell? Is there anyone inside? He sweated, his face still showing fear. Call the police quickly, it's really dangerous, just one more step. The man wearing the sanitation worker's uniform stood looking at him not far away. He thought irritably, damn it, just a little bit more. He was walking on a wide street. The sign high above suddenly shook. He had just passed by when it crashed to the ground. He turned his head back in shock. People around him discussed in panic. Why did it suddenly collapse? Was anyone hurt? His face turned pale. What is today? He had just passed by when two cars collided. He bent down to pick something up from the ground, avoiding a toy plane that came flying over, a coin. He turned pale, listening to the noise behind him. Whose flower pot fell down? Be careful, the outer wall is falling down. A mad dog is biting people. Should I not have gone out today? He glanced at the children playing nearby. Try this, put it here, don't press that, pay attention to safety, kids. A firecracker slipped from a child's hand. Oh no, I dropped one. It rolled close to a manhole. He turned pale, hearing the explosion behind him. He looked back in fear. No way. The scene behind him was extremely chaotic. Xiao Bao, my car. He trembled, looking at the sewage on his clothes. He ran away quickly. It stinks, I have to go home and change clothes. The sanitation worker looked at him as if looking at a monster. How could this be? He held his head as if going crazy. I clearly put a curse on him, why isn't any of it working? The argument continued behind him. Were you hurt? Why are you so naughty? I told you not to throw firecrackers into the manhole. I didn't, it popped up by itself. And besides, I didn't throw it into that manhole. He looked dejected. Could it be that his luck is so good that he can't be cursed? Yuan San was opening her mouth to bite an ice cream bar. She looked in one direction in surprise. She looked at him suspiciously. Teacher he? What's wrong, Yuan San? He looked at her, his face pale. I'm at the pedestrian street, covered in dirt. I have to go home and take a bath immediately. She looked at him in shock. Did you run all the way from the pedestrian street? He looked at her dejectedly. Looking like this, taxis won't let me in, and I can't find a public bicycle along the way. She enthusiastically invited, You've already arrived at my doorstep, come into my house to take a bath. He looked at the high-rise building behind the girl. Your house? Is it here? The sound of the washing machine was heard continuously. She smiled. Look, after washing and drying, you can wear it right away. He breathed a sigh of relief. I really thank you today, otherwise I'd have to run home. She looked at him with some worry. But listening to you, you were really unlucky today, luckily you were still safe. She picked something up from the ground. You dropped this. Oh no, I forgot to check the pockets when I washed the clothes. I must have washed this together too. He adjusted his clothes, smiling calmly. It probably doesn't matter, just throw it away. He stepped out the door, waving goodbye to her. Thank you so much, I'll treat you to a meal someday. Then I want to drink milk tea. She stretched her body. She looked at the piece of paper in her hand in shock. She looked at it suspiciously. This feeling, what exactly is it? A strong wind blew into the building. She looked outside in shock, it was already dark. The typhoon is coming early this year. The glass door shattered, and pieces of glass were flying towards her. She looked at the scene in fear. Familiar footsteps rang out. He opened the door, looking flustered. Are you okay? She was wrapped in bandages all over her body. Teacher he? She hurriedly recounted, it happened at midnight last night. My parents weren't home, and my grandfather took me to the hospital. He asked worriedly, what about your injuries? She widened her eyes, looking worried. My injuries are fine, but maybe my grandfather is in trouble. She told him that she had given that piece of paper to her grandfather, the piece of paper that teacher he dropped last night. I found it very strange, so I opened it to take a look. A kind of charm was drawn on the piece of paper. A strange kind of charm was drawn on it. I didn't think much about it at the time, but later I suddenly realized. He sweated, looking at her with a tense expression. Perhaps the accidents you encountered all day yesterday were because of this. He hurriedly asked, where is that charm? She looked at him worriedly. It's with my grandfather. He took me to the hospital and then left in a hurry, saying he had to investigate that charm. The phone rang, indicating an incoming call. She hurriedly answered the phone. Hello, you found it? What? Grandpa? He looked at her blank expression in shock. What's wrong? She looked at him, her face pale. My grandfather's car had an accident, and he has been taken to the hospital. At the hospital, Yuan Qing lay on the hospital bed, his head wrapped in bandages and having to breathe oxygen. The doctor instructed seriously, don't disturb the patient, only 10 minutes. Okay, we'll leave right away. She covered her face, looking at him sadly. The doctor said that he has temporarily passed the critical period, but he doesn't know when he will wake up. He looked at her seriously. The charm is not on him. She said quickly, it's not, they have given me all the related things. My dad has also gone to the scene to search. She recalled sadly the flames that had burned the car. The scene was very intense, that small piece of paper may have been burned. He looked at the old man lying on the hospital bed, looking guilty. Lao Yuan. He bent down and touched his head. I have implicated you. Golden light appeared on the top of his head. He looked at the scene in shock. Golden light surrounded him like a vortex. The hospital at night, this is. Yuan Qing held a folder and stepped into the car. Lao Yuan's memories. The car was driving on the road. He was driving the car. He collided with the divider. The car caught fire. The flames rose fiercely. She looked at him in panic. Teacher, what's wrong? He looked at his palm. I saw that charm. A voice rang out doubtfully. Charm, Tian Sher Fu. He looked at the Tian Sher seriously. That's right, I think your Tian Sher Fu must be very knowledgeable about this, so I came to ask. He said in surprise, what does that charm look like? Let me take a look. He gave him a description of the charm. The charm has been burned, but I still remember its appearance clearly. He looked at the charm in shock. He glanced at him. He looked at him, sweating, looking at him. I have really never seen this kind of charm. He asked again, really never seen it before? He affirmed to him, yes, really never seen it before. He smiled at him. Perhaps it's because my skills are not refined. Why don't you leave this charm with me first? I'll notify you when I find out the results. What does teacher think? He pointed at the charm, his anger burning. Because of this charm, I have encountered disasters many times, and now my students and friends have also been implicated. You're telling me to wait? He hurriedly persuaded, don't be angry. A voice rang out. What kind of charm is it that even a great disciple like me can't recognize? The Tian Sher raised his hand to introduce. This is he, great master he. He looked at him doubtfully. You are. He stroked his beard, mocking. I am Jingfeng, the teacher of this useless disciple. He grabbed the charm, looking at it for a while. He frowned, looking at Li Tian Sher with some anger. I recognize this shape, it's the inheritance of the Tian Sher Fu teacher. Teacher, wait a moment, Shaoli, you recognized it a long time ago. Didn't you? He lowered his head, looking helpless. Teacher, I just wanted to protect the school. He shouted angrily. If you want to protect the school, you must cut off all ties with this kind of garbage. He lowered his head, listening to his master's teaching, his face pale. If you keep covering it up like this, you can only become the same kind as this garbage. His expression was calm. Great Master Jingfeng is right, then you must know the origin of this charm. He stroked his beard, looking dejected. It's clear. The one who caused the trouble is still his junior brother Xiaoi. He caressed the charm, explaining softly. This is a charm to bring bad luck that he modified himself. As long as you carry it on your body, it can devour the luck of others, causing minor serious injuries and major loss of life. He looked at him with some worry. Great Master have you not been hit by this thing yet? He looked at him seriously. I only encountered some ordinary unlucky things. And then this charm got wet and split, falling into the hands of two people, and both almost lost their lives. He looked at him with some admiration. It's already lucky that it didn't actually kill anyone. It must be because the charm was damaged, so the power was greatly reduced. However, teacher, he is indeed a person with strong luck, so he was able to leave the charm of bad luck completely unharmed. He frowned, looking annoyed. Now is not the time to admire, Quickly hand over that bastard, I will clean up the school for you. He frowned and asked his disciple. Where is he? He replied dejectedly, Teacher, I really ordered him to leave this place. He secretly came back without letting the Tian Sher Fu know. I really don't know where he is. He looked at him. Great master, my disciple is probably not lying. Why don't we try thinking in another direction? For example, when did you start encountering bad luck? When? He remembered the image of him bumping into the person pushing the trash cart yesterday. He looked at him when he was waiting for the elevator. He frowned. It's him. Jin Yun Botanical Garden. He was standing in the surveillance camera room. A man wearing a hat covering his face and wearing a sanitation worker's uniform appeared on the surveillance screen. It's him. He confirmed, gnashing his teeth. As expected, that's right, he put it on me at that time. The guard looked a little worried. This is troublesome. That sanitation worker only came to work temporarily that day. He disappeared before the end of his shift. We contacted the sanitation company, but they said they didn't have this person. Since nothing happened, we didn't pay much attention. He comforted himself. It's okay, now that we have clues, we can follow them. The trio of Guofei entered excitedly. Teacher, we helped you find his whereabouts. Yuan San looked at him annoyed. Don't say it like you investigated it, it's thanks to Diyu. Yu blushed and stroked her smooth hair gently. I just asked my family to check the intersection cameras. He looked at the children and said happily, That's great, you guys investigated really quickly. The children recounted happily. This morning he went to the high-speed rail station and bought a ticket to Shangjing. Shangjing? He frowned, looking a little worried. My family is all in Shangjing, could it be that he investigated this too? He felt an increasingly heavy sense of unease and shock. This is not good. He rushed out the door, not forgetting to tell the kids, Go back to school first, I'll be there right away. The kids looked at him worriedly. Teacher, be careful. Remember to avenge my grandfather. Guofei glanced at her dejectedly. Your grandfather is not dead. She looked at him annoyed. Then it's also possible to avenge him. He looked at his phone while running. The fastest train is... Li Tianshi appeared in front of him. Great master, please stop. He frowned, looking a little angry. What, are you going to stop me from pursuing your junior brother? He waved his hand dejectedly. No, it's because I was too selfish before. He bowed, cupping his hands, looking respectful. I have followed the teachings of my teacher. I have come here today to lend you a hand, and also to clean up the school. He looked at him happily. Then quickly think of a way to chase after him. Do you have private planes or express trains or something? He looked at him blankly. We don't have that. He pulled at his clothes as if searching for something. We cultivators don't use those things. He pulled out 2 charms, looking serious. Quick! The 2 charms turned into 2 streams of golden light, flying to his knees. He looked at it in surprise. This is... He jumped into the air and turned back to look at him. Follow me. He knelt down and replied, Okay. He shot into the air. He looked at himself flying in the air in surprise. This is the power of the Tian Sher. He turned his head back to explain. Each sect has different ways of cultivation. It's just that we are good at using charms. He looked at him in surprise. So that means people with this ability won't choose high-speed trains or airplanes? He explained calmly, it also depends on the level of cultivation. I can only run fast for short distances, but some people can travel long distances without any problems. He frowned, looking a little unhappy. Then Yang Dao's skills are not small, yet he said he was just a small immortal attendant of mine. He pondered curiously. What was I like before? He focused, looking ahead. A prosperous city appeared before his eyes, Shangjing City. He landed on the ground, saying with regret, Unfortunately, we are still 1 step behind the high-speed train. He wiped the sweat from his face. It's okay, it's easier to deal with now that we're here. I must protect my family from him. The 2 divided the action. Great master, you go home first, I will go find that rebellious disciple. Okay. He increased his speed, looking worried. Dad, sister, you must be safe. A voice rang out in a high-rise building. Dad, on Z? He hurriedly searched around. Why is no one home? He suddenly remembered. That's right, Dad said he would take Anzi out for a medical examination. He looked at an empty space in the house, becoming even more certain of his thoughts. The luggage is also not here, they must have left earlier. He touched his head, breathing a sigh of relief. That's great. He was startled, hearing a noise outside the door. He pressed a button on the surveillance screen. A man wearing a hat covering his face, holding a box in his hand, stood in front of the door. Is it him? He frowned, his gaze seeming to pierce through the door. He used to disguise himself as a sanitation worker. It's not surprising that he's pretending to be a deliveryman this time. He clenched his fist and opened the door. Okay, this time it's just you and me. We'll settle the score. The door burst open. The man appeared. He swung his fist. You! He looked at the man in front of him in shock. He was sweating, looking scared. The man stepped into the house. He hurriedly explained, Sorry, I thought it was. As quick as lightning, he stuck a charm on his forehead. He smiled cunningly. He quickly backed away, looking at the charm in panic. What is this? His face turned pale, his hand trembling as he tried to tear the charm off, but it was stuck tightly to his forehead, and could not be removed. He pounced on him. He punched him angrily in the face. Get lost! The powerful punch caused a part of the skin to peel off, a mask. The man looked up, the skin on his face torn in a large area. He shouted angrily, Who the hell are you? The man pulled down the mask, gnashing his teeth. Let's settle the score today. He recognized him in shock. You're Dewey! His face was severely burned, leaving terrible scars. He shouted angrily, I became this inhuman, ghost-like appearance, all because of you. He took a defensive stance, looking annoyed. You chose this path yourself. You caused harm to others, yet you have the nerve to blame them for retaliating? He rushed over, roaring. Today I will end this. The light overhead suddenly fell down. He dodged quickly in shock. He thought, a little worried, what the hell is going on? Why is it happening at this time? His foot tripped over a chair. He looked at the scene, his face pale. He looked in horror at his foot kicking towards him. He quickly raised his hand to block. His triumphant voice rang out. Today I'll let you understand what it means to run out of luck. He fell to the ground. He sat up, frowning at him. Luck? So the charm you stuck on my forehead is for doing this? He held a charm in his hand, the corner of his mouth turned up to his ear. I may not be able to beat you in a fight, but luck is destiny. His hand radiated a raging flame. He laughed maniacally. Can you resist destiny? He replied angrily, Don't set my house on fire. He panicked, hurriedly touching his waist, my waist. He fell into a difficult situation. It won't work if it continues like this. He hasn't even attacked much, and I've already killed myself. He looked at the sticker covered by the bandage. Then I only have one way. He reluctantly removed the bandage. I don't know if this will help me. He smiled triumphantly. You haven't given up yet? Now luck is on my side. He gnashed his teeth and rushed over. Then let's see. He threw punches together. He was punched away by him. Pieces of broken glass scraped across his face, forming wounds. He, like him, was injured by the shards. He was horrified, his eyes almost popping out. Impossible! He smiled at him. See, our luck has been balanced again. He frowned, looking annoyed. But I still can't give it my all. I have to find a way to remove the charm on my forehead. He smiled contemptuously, putting his hand into his pocket. Balance? He smiled, sticking a charm on his forehead. What about now? He rushed in front of him. Die for me. He raised his hand to block the streams of golden light that were shooting over. Die for me. He turned pale, sweat falling like rain, trying to grit his teeth and resist. This is not good, this guy is buffing himself again. Streams of golden light swirled around his fist. Die. Tian Sher flew in from the window, appearing behind him. He frowned and shouted, Teacher orders me to punish you, you rebellious junior. He waved his hand lightly, and the charm was cut in half. He raised his hand towards him, and the charm on his forehead immediately flew into his hand. He smiled, feeling the power surging through his body. A terrifying energy radiated from his body. Come again if you dare. He was so scared that he fell to the ground. He panicked, hurriedly pleading for help. Senior brotherly, save me. He looked at him angrily. Today, even the heavens can't save you. Countless punches rained down on him. Tian Sher turned his head, looking dejected, sighing. You reap what you sow, not worth living. After a while, he fell to the ground, bruised and battered. He glanced down at him from above, warning coldly, Dare to touch my family, and I will make you die 100 times, 1,000 times. Tian Sher cupped his hands respectfully, looking at him. Great master the great feud has been avenged. How about a trip to the Tian Sher Fu? My master also wants to meet you. He touched his head, looking at the messy house. Not in a hurry, but my house. He smiled and said calmly, Don't worry, I'll send someone to repair it right away. Everything that's damaged will be completely replaced. He touched his cheek, looking a little melancholy. That's good then, but I don't want my dad to know about this. He frowned, pondering. What reason should I think of now? The trio stood before the phone screen, looking remorseful. Uncle sorry, we came to your house to play and damaged some things. He worried when he heard the children's voices. But don't worry, Uncle, we will compensate according to the original price, and we will also repair the damaged house completely. Sorry, it's all our fault, please forgive us. He stood behind the trio, looking at his father on the screen calmly. No, you were wrong? He comforted his dad softly. Dad, that's the thing, don't worry if you see any changes when you get home later. His voice was doubtful. Why did you bring your students to the old house? It's so far. He touched his head, hurriedly finding a reason. Well, they were curious. So I took them to see it. Who knew they would cause such a big thing? He smiled innocently. In short, it's all right now. The walls and windows have been repaired, and the household appliances and electrical appliances have also been replaced. There's completely no problem anymore. His head was full of question marks. He asked, How did you damage the walls and windows, and the household appliances and electrical appliances were also damaged? What exactly did you bring the students home to do? He hurriedly made an excuse. Dad, I have to go teach. That's all I'm saying, I'll tell you the details next time we meet. Wait, explain it clearly to me. He hung up the phone, breathing a sigh of relief. The kids smiled cunningly. Teacher what exactly did you cause? You even made us speak up for Teacher this time you owe us a favor. He waved his hand, smiling wryly. Okay, I'll remember it this time. I'll treat you to a sumptuous meal someday. He informed Yuan San I have dealt with the person who harmed your grandfather. Really? That's great. He asked, How is your grandfather now? He's fine now, he's woken up and can talk normally. The two chatted happily. Do you want to visit my grandfather? I'll stop by later, I still have some things to solve. At the Tian Sher Fu. Jingfeng stroked his beard and said generously, This time it's the fault of our Tian Sher Fu. I, Jingfeng, apologize here. Tell me what compensation you need. He looked at him, not dwelling on the past. Forget it, I didn't intend to settle accounts with you, anyway, that degenerate has already been dealt with. He looked at him with some worry. But I have something I want to ask. Are there many people who know this trick of manipulating luck? Do I need to guard against being harmed again? He stroked his beard, looking serious. Great master rest assured, this trick is originally an evil art. Harming people also damages one's own virtue, so very few people use it. He affirmed very few, but there are still people who use it, right? He stroked his beard, not very worried. It is true that there are people who use it, but this trick is very basic, it has no effect on those with higher cultivation. I see that great master has very good aptitude, and it won't be long before you reach a level where you no longer fear these petty tricks. He looked at him worriedly. Thank you for your blessing, but I'm not afraid, but it doesn't mean that my friends and students are not afraid. He comforted him. I understand, rest assured, there is a way to solve this matter. He held a brush to draw a charm. He held 2 charms and gave them to him. These 2 charms can protect your family. He smiled and said shamelessly, Don't just give me 2, besides my family, I have friends and students, draw a few more. Tian Sher looked at him, his face pale. Great master this is not a wholesale protective charm, drawing this charm takes a lot of energy. Xingfeng waved his hand quickly. It's okay. He raised his pen. Anyway, this is also part of our compensation, so we should do it. He cupped his hands and bowed, looking at him. Thank you, Uncle Jin. He smiled at him. Actually, I also have something I want to ask. He stroked his beard, looking a little expectant. Can Great Master he spar with me for a few moves? He was quite surprised but also nodded. Sparring? That's fine too. He said happily, that's great. The two stood on an open space, but I still haven't grasped all my strength. It feels like there's some power that can't be released. He smiled at him. Uncle Jing, let's just discuss, okay? His expression was serious. Please use your full strength, Great Master He touched his head, looking a little worried. Okay, he's already old, what if something happens? He launched a straight golden light punch towards him. Golden light radiated strongly. He dodged, leaning back in shock. So strong? He looked in shock as he rushed over. He frowned, thinking, it seems he's serious, I can't hold back. He bit his teeth, and used his momentum to rush forward. I must seize the initiative. He punched, and he ducked to avoid it. He punched, and he raised his hand to block. He kicked, and he jumped to avoid it. Tian Sher sweated, looking at the scene. Teacher! A golden light appeared before his fingertips. He shouted. A ball of golden light appeared in his palm. He was shocked. Crap, he also has the Tian Sher Fu's moves. Before the storm-like offensive, he could only dodge continuously. He had been pushed back by him. It won't work if it continues like this. He frowned. I can only... He noticed his right hand. There's something on his right hand. A strong aura emanated from his body. He frowned, looking at him covered in golden light. He frowned and bit his finger. A stream of fresh blood flowed out. Can't underestimate the enemy. He used blood to draw a pattern on his hand. You have a strengthening charm, I have one too. The two looked at each other seriously. He rushed towards him. Come here. He lowered his head and stood there. His hands were close together. A swastika pattern appeared. He murmured Vajra. A ball of light appeared in his hand. The ball grew larger, carrying a violent energy, and then exploded with a bang. A huge explosion occurred. The powerful force almost blew away Tian Sher. He called worriedly, Teacher! The smoke gradually dissipated, and Jing Feng's figure appeared. He coughed a few times. This is your strength? He looked at him, shocked, as he strode forward. Great Master His powerful aura shot out in all directions. Tian Sher worried and hurriedly intervened. Great Master the victory or defeat has been decided, let's stop here. He woke up in shock. He quickly ran in front of him. Lao Jing, are you okay? Huh? He looked at the sticker doubtfully. Great Master is that a strengthening charm in your hand? He smiled awkwardly, hurriedly hiding his hand behind his back. It's actually... He patted his shoulder. It's okay, since it's Great Master secret, I won't ask any more. Today's battle was really refreshing. He smiled awkwardly, embarrassed. Sorry, I used a little too much force. The two chatted happily. It's because this old man's skills are not refined. I can no longer compare with young people. Don't say that. In the hospital, a voice rang out. I asked, Teacher, he has found the real culprit. Yuan San was peeling an apple while telling her grandfather. That's right, he said it was the guy from the Tian Sher Fu from before. He opened the hospital room door, smiling and raising his hand to greet him. Lao Yuan, you're okay now? He smiled happily. I'm fine now, I'm listening to San tell me about you, Teacher He frowned, looking sad. I have implicated you too this time. Don't say that, we were targeted by a villain, how can we blame Teacher He spread his hand, inside were two neatly folded charms. This is what I asked Great Master Jingfeng from the Tian Sher Fu to ask for protective charms, carrying them with you can avoid disasters. Yuan Qing took the two charms, looking excited. Teacher Jingfeng's protective charms, these are things worth 1,000 gold. He was as happy as if he had found gold. This time he even gave us two, we must take us to thank the Great Master in person. Let's thank him later. He said a sentence casually, causing the two grandparents to stare blankly. I have already beaten him, he has to recuperate from his injuries recently. What? San looked at him worriedly. Teacher you didn't make an enemy of Teacher Jingfeng again, did you? He replied calmly. It's not that he told me to hit him. She stared at him blankly. Huh? He said politely, okay, I won't say much, Lao Yuan, please rest and recuperate, I'll come visit you later. San carefully noticed. Teacher your right hand is injured? He smiled, holding his bandaged hand. No, don't you think this looks pretty cool? Because I couldn't find a bandage at the Tian Sher Fu, I had to temporarily bandage it like this. He stepped out of the hospital room. He looked at the sticker on his hand with some worry. This effect is even more terrifying than I thought. There was a moment when I almost couldn't control it. He left in thought. Strengthening charm. So this is a kind of charm? A voice rang out outside the room door. Dad on Z? He smiled, opening the door and stepping in. I'm back. He looked around suspiciously. Dad on Z, are you two here? He stared blankly at the two corpses on the ground. What is this? It was his sister and his father. He was frightened, his face turned pale, and his whole body trembled. No, how could this be? He cried and screamed in despair. Dad on Z. He woke up with a start. He was covered in sweat. What's wrong? Why am I dreaming like this? He touched his face tiredly. Moreover, that feeling is really too real. I can even smell the blood, as if it is. A look of worry flashed in his eyes. Like a real memory. He rubbed his head with both hands, hoping to erase the restlessness in his heart. What nonsense am I thinking? Yang Dao's voice seemed to ring in his ears. Most of your memories have been sealed. He frowned, feeling an increasingly heavy sense of unease. Is this also part of my memory? He fell to the bed, looking annoyed. Where the hell did that Yang Dao go? I want to ask, but I can't find anyone. At Changting High School, early morning. She held the charm. Guofei and you were doubtful. Give it to me? Why? He yawned, looking tired. Anyway, it's a good thing, just carry it with you in the future. The kids looked at him and smiled teasingly. Teacher are you okay? Look at these dark circles under your eyes. You must have stayed up all night playing games. He poked him in the elbow. He whispered, revealing a sly look. Or did your girlfriend come to your house last night and stay overnight? He grabbed his head irritably. You little brat, watch your words. It hurts. A basketball flew to the two of them. He held the ball suspiciously. Basketball? A group of students wearing sports uniforms said arrogantly, Teacher from Class C, right? You're very famous these days. Next week there's a basketball game between teachers and students. Our class teacher is also participating, you must not run away. He looked at Guofei suspiciously. There's a basketball game next week? He looked at him in surprise. Teacher wasn't this decided the day before yesterday? Didn't you receive the notice? He looked at him worriedly. The students are studying so hard, is it okay to take time for this? A voice rang out. Students can't just focus on studying, physical health is also very important. A tall and burly man walked over. The students introduced him. This is our class teacher, Teacher Chow. Hello, teacher. The two greeted each other happily. I'm also new here. Oh, hello, I'm he. The two shook hands, and Chow Ren used force. He stared in surprise. He looked up at Chow Ren's kind expression. This guy. Golden light appeared between the two of them. He's not just using force, but also using some kind of chi to test my right hand. He looked at his right hand seriously. He wants to check the thing on my right hand. He used force, shaking his hand away violently. He turned his head, looking provocative. Teacher then I'll see you at the competition next week. He smirked and left. He frowned, listening to the kids. Teacher is this your way of showing off? I heard that he is the Chinese teacher of Class 4. He was doubtful. A Chinese teacher? Is there a Chinese teacher who looks like that? Moreover, the way he moves is not simple. Is he also a martial artist? He glanced at him. Is our class's basketball team okay? No. What? Guofei said calmly. Our class doesn't have a basketball team. He shouted, his face pale. Then how was this match decided? He turned his head, making a super cool pose, not realizing that He's face had turned black. Because they came to provoke us last week, saying that you were too famous. But you definitely couldn't play basketball. I was angry, so I accepted the challenge for you. The corner of his mouth twitched, his eyes like wolves. He rushed over evilly, grabbing Guofei's head. So you're the one who caused this. It hurts. He looked dejectedly. But now it seems that this match must take place. I have to see what's so special about that Chinese teacher, he said casually. Go. He looked at him doubtfully. Go do what? What else can we do? He smiled confidently. Establish a basketball team. In the classroom of Class 2. The students looked at him in surprise. He covered his face dejectedly. There's no one who's a little taller? San said, regretting that he couldn't turn iron into steel. Teacher, is this the first time you've really paid attention to the students in your class? Guofei jumped up excitedly. Teacher, I'm willing to sign up to participate. I want to help you, he replied irritably. You're the one who caused this, of course you can't escape. San suddenly had a good idea. She suggested, Teacher, don't you teach many physical education classes? Can you go find them in other classes? Guofei frowned, patting his chest. No way, this is my battle, of course it has to be the people from our class. He covered his face. You're really making things difficult for me. He chose 3 more people from the class. You. He frowned, saying, and you, come out here. He touched his chin, looking serious. I want to tell you about the strategy this time. The gentle sunlight shone on the large stands, the day of the basketball game. Everyone looked forward to today's game. He stood on the court, giving a speech to his students. Everyone knows basketball is a team activity, right? He lowered his head and said casually. But this time, everyone don't interfere. The 4 people looked at him in surprise. The kids said disapprovingly, Teacher, although we're not basketball masters, we also know how to play. Don't exclude us completely like this. That's right. Basketball is not a sport that one person can play. He looked at the kids worriedly. No, this is not what you think. He turned his head to look at Chao Run on the opposite side. This competition will be a little dangerous. Everyone stay away from that, Teacher Chao. Chao Run glanced at him, smiling. He said a sentence, startling the kids. In short, I'm responsible for keeping an eye on that teacher. Everyone can run around outside at will. Winning or losing doesn't matter. The kids muttered dejectedly. Winning or losing doesn't matter. He pondered while completing his warm-up exercises. Although I don't know what he wants, I will take on whatever tricks he has. Don't underestimate me. Yu looked at her class's team with some worry. San, can we win? Class 4 is much taller. San smiled comfortably, looking at her. No problem, with Teacher He here. There won't be any problems. The game was about to begin, and both teams took their positions. Chao Run looked at his right hand, reminding him, Teacher He, your right hand is wrapped in bandages, is it okay? He replied with a smile. Rest assured, it doesn't affect playing basketball. The ball was tossed into the air by the referee. Chao Run and he jumped up at the same time. He was startled to see Chao Run jumping higher than him. The 2 girls looked in horror, their eyes filled with worry. We're done for, the height difference is too big, I don't dare to watch anymore. He quickly grabbed the ball before Chao Run. He was startled, looking annoyed. What? He smiled, smirking. I got it. His feet landed safely. He shouted seriously. Start the attack. He dribbled the ball nimbly, passing through the opponent's defense. The kids ran frantically. Quick, keep up, okay. But Chao Run was faster than them. He quickly ran past. He turned his head in shock, looking at Chao Run rushing over. As expected, this guy is not simple. He jumped up, putting the ball into the basket. Chao Run swooped in, grabbing the ball from his hand. He passed the ball to his student. He shouted, Our chance, hurry up. Guofei turned his head back, looking at his teammates, shouting urgently, Back to defense, back to defense. He swooped in, stealing the ball from his hand. He looked at him, his face pale, as he rushed away like the wind. Chao Run quickly chased closely behind. He raised his hand, grabbing the ball. He frowned, looking at him. Chao Ren's anger flashed in his eyes through his glasses. The 2 flicked their hands, and the ball flew away. The members of the 2 teams looked at the scene blankly. We really can't interfere. Did they just walk just now? Did they break the rules? The referee looked at the scene, his mouth agape. The kids' voices rang out. The referee is also frozen. The 2 girls looked at the game excitedly. Basketball competition is like this? So powerful. He patted the ball, looking around. The 2 chatted for a moment. This is clearly something is not right. I know you're very strong, but I didn't expect you to be so strong. He smiled when he heard his words. Are you a member of AIP? Did you deliberately get a teacher's certificate in order to investigate me? He stared blankly, listening to his answer. Investigating you is true, but I'm also really a Chinese teacher. He used force, using more power to push the basketball. His face looked terrified. We're done for. The force was too strong, causing the basketball to explode. Both stared blankly at the remains of the basketball lying on the court. Chaoren smiled as if nothing had happened. Sorry, the basketball is broken. Please give us another one. He smirked. Sorry, I'll control my strength this time. Let's do it again. He frowned, asking, Did you come to kill me? He smiled, looking at him. How could it be? It's just a friendly match. He rushed over to grab the ball, but Chaoren managed to avoid it. He punched, and he quickly raised his hand to block. He grabbed the ball, swinging his hand and punching him continuously. He threw the ball away, shouting, Guofei, catch it. Guofei caught the ball, the force so strong that he took a big step back. The two teammates next to him hurriedly reached out to support him. Be careful. He stared blankly. You scared me to death, almost killed me. He stared blankly at the two teachers fighting. What's going on? The group of students from that class looked at the scene in shock. All three rushed towards Guofei. Ball, quickly snatched the ball. He panicked, hurriedly running away. The group started a new game without the two teachers. He was fighting with Chaoren, looking at the kids worriedly. Yi looked panicked. I don't know which side to look at. San looked at the court excitedly. Of course, look at Teacher He, his side is more exciting. The entire stand echoed with Yuan San's cheers. Teacher He, go, beat him. The other students were full of doubts. Is this still a basketball game? Chaoren smiled provocatively. What's wrong? You still haven't shown your real skills? This guy. He patted the ball in his hand, frowning. It seems that even if the game ends or not, he still wants to compete with me. He passed the ball to a kid from his class. Blue light radiated from Chaoren's hand. He punched, and he raised his hand to block. The bandage on his right hand was torn apart. Is his fist so sharp? He smiled, looking at him. As long as I see the charm on your hand, I will know which sect you come from. He rubbed his hand, frowning at him. It seems that if I don't use my real skills today, he won't give up. He took off the remaining bandage, golden light radiating from his body. Guofei looked at him in surprise. Teacher, he is going to play big? A basketball hit his head. He caught the ball, shouting angrily. Who threw that? His teammate hurriedly urged him. Don't be dazed, pass the ball. He turned his head around in a panic. Who should I pass to? He threw the ball towards He. Teacher He, catch the ball. San shouted angrily. Guofei, don't affect Teacher He, can't you see that he's busy? He raised his hand behind him, preparing to throw the ball. The ball rushed towards Chaoren like lightning. He gritted his teeth. I can't block this ball. He dodged to one side, and the ball flew past him. His hand transformed into a palm, and he rushed in front of him, to his horror. This is not good. The image of a cartoon cat was clearly visible on his palm. He widened his eyes, looking at it in shock. A blue shield appeared around him, blocking his attack. The shield couldn't withstand it and shattered, throwing Chaoren away. He seized the opportunity and rushed over. He threw a punch. He punched straight down, and a loud noise came from Chaoren. A whistle blew. Chaoren looked at him in horror. The basketball court was cracked in one corner by his punch. San looked at the scene, her eyes wide and her mouth open. Huh! What's going on? Yi replied with a smile. End of the first half. He sat up. Okay, let's call it a tie. His voice was full of surprise. A tie? He pointed to the sign hanging high above. Look at the scoreboard. The score was 3-9. He was stunned. What? Guofei waved happily at Chaoren. Teacher, he didn't forget the basketball game even when he was taking action against you. He smiled, touching his nose. He always passes the ball to us, and we work together with one heart. His calm voice rang out. There are only 4 people on your team, of course you lost. He smiled at him. What do you say? Do you want to decide the winner in the second half? He frowned, looking as if he had given up something. No need, I have something to do, you guys play by yourselves. The students looked at him in panic. Teacher Chow. He glanced at him. That charm on his hand, I've seen a little bit of a clue. He looked suspiciously at his receding figure, happily high-fiving with the kids. But what's that pattern? He glanced at Chow Ren's receding figure. He frowned, looking at him silently for a long time. Guofei jumped out, looking at him excitedly. Teacher, in the second half, let's continue to beat them up miserably. He took off his uniform, saying calmly. You guys play by yourselves, I still have some things to do. Guofei's face turned pale. Teacher, don't leave at a crucial moment. He waved his hand, replying, their teacher is gone, it's not fair if I still participate. You guys try your best. He tried to call out. Teacher, A gentle breeze blew through the school. He stood behind a bush, looking at Chow Ren. He walked closer to a luxurious black car. As expected, this guy is preparing to retreat. Let me see who he is. He opened the car door and stepped inside. He frowned. Oh no, he's going to get into the car and leave. He stepped out of the bush, watching the car. I have to quickly take a car to follow him. Why is there no taxi? He hurriedly opened his phone. Is it still too late to call a car now? A car stopped in front of him. A familiar voice rang out. Teacher, isn't it still class time now? She looked at him doubtfully. What are you doing? He opened her car door. He stepped inside, saying urgently, you came at the right time. Mu Qin looked at him in panic. Teacher, what are you doing? He pointed forward. There's no time to explain, quickly help me chase after that car. She glanced at him, remaining silent for a moment. She frowned, replying, explain it to me on the way. The car sped down the road. He's voice rang out. That's the thing, look, such a suspicious teacher, how can I let him go? Her expression was serious. This teacher Chow's name is Chow Ren, he was introduced by the vice principal, he doesn't know that he's hiding his skills. He frowned, looking at her. That's right, he's very suspicious, right? She looked at him seriously, disapprovingly. Speaking of suspicious, you're also very suspicious. She said seriously, when you first came, you were just a normal physical education teacher, but then, your great actions are not like the behavior of ordinary people. She glanced at him, interrogating. Who exactly are you? He sweated, looking at her with a forced smile. It's a long story. A flock of birds flew in panic towards the distant mountains. The black car drove on the road. Chow Ren glanced coldly at the rearview mirror. The car behind has been following us all the way, deal with it. Yes. The man sitting in the back pulled out a gun, leaning out the door and shooting. He looked at the scene, his face pale. He shouted urgently, brake. She looked at him in shock. What? The car braked sharply on the road. 2 bullets hit the ground in front of the car. She looked in shock, panicking. What's going on? Was that just a gunshot? He got out of the car, turning back to look at her. Too dangerous, Principal Mu, go back quickly, I'll chase after him. As soon as he finished speaking, he rushed away like the wind. She was a little doubtful. You're so powerful, why did you want me to drive the car to chase him? He ran, searching around. Why haven't I caught up yet? There shouldn't be any other turnoffs. He was startled to find a place without a divider. He walked over, looking doubtful. Could it be? He discovered the black car from before. He quickly slid down the slope. He opened the car door to check. No one. He was startled to discover something. A line of text was pasted on the car. He clenched the paper angrily. Damn it, who exactly is he working for? A sound attracted him. He looked towards the back seat in shock. He turned pale, looking scared. This is not good. The car exploded. Mu Qin stepped out of the car in panic. She looked at the sea of fire before her in shock. She frowned, her face full of worry. You're not in there, are you? She backed away in fear. What should I do? What should I do now? She opened her phone. I should report it to the police first. She said in fear, stammering. Yes, it's this address. I don't know what happened, yes, please hurry up. She sat in the car, her hands on the steering wheel, her whole body trembling in waves. She lowered her head, covering her face on the steering wheel. You're not dead, are you? A voice quickly replied to her. Not yet. She turned her head back in shock, looking at him covered in blood. Her face turned pale. She screamed, sobbing. Ghost! He said weakly, Principal Mu, I'm still alive. She wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes, her fingers trembling slightly. You're not a ghost? He closed his eyes, smiling wryly. I'm really still alive. I was just a little dizzy from the explosion, and I struggled to crawl into your car. She sobbed, her whole body trembling in waves. She smiled, wiping the corners of her eyes. That's great, that's great. He smiled at her. You're so worried, huh? I thought you hated me. She screamed, sobbing. Although you're not serious, it's not to the point where I want you to die. He smiled, whispering. That's good then. She looked at him as if discovering something. She looked at him worriedly. Are you injured? She panicked, hurriedly turning the steering wheel. Wait a minute, I'll take you to the hospital right away. The car quickly rolled down the road. Her worried voice rang out. Don't fall asleep. He covered the wound that was oozing fresh blood on his abdomen, his voice intermittent. I'm okay. He frowned, sweating profusely. That light. He remembered the explosion just now. It was that light that saved me just now. The sticker emitted golden light. Otherwise, I couldn't have survived the explosion. It shielded him. A cute cat appeared on the mouth of the wound. He looked at the scene in shock. He trembled, watching the cat turn from 1 to 3. Am I hallucinating? I don't remember eating mushrooms. What is before me? He sighed, thinking dejectedly, please, if it's a hallucination, then give me a hallucination of an adult. It's too innocent and naive like this. He thought, like an idiot. Mu Qin's worried voice rang out in the car. In the hospital. He was lying on the hospital bed, a voice rang out. You said he wasn't injured at all? Mu Qin and the doctor were discussing. How could that be? He was bleeding so much. When I first saw his appearance, I thought he was a seriously injured patient. But after the examination, I found that there were no wounds under those bloodstains. Sounds rang out in his ears. Those bloodstains must have been blood that was stained from somewhere else, right? She began to doubt her life. Impossible, I saw it at that time, he was bleeding non-stop. The doctor exhorted kindly, he is currently suffering from a mild concussion, observe him for a while. She lowered her head. Yes, thank you. She raised her hand, pulling the curtain. Who exactly are you? There are too many mysterious points about you. She looked at him worriedly. She grabbed his hand with the sticker on it. Is it related to this? It seems like I saw light radiating from his right hand. She looked up in shock, discovering that he had woken up long ago and was looking at her. It's very itchy. She was startled, blushing. He suddenly shook her hand away. He held his head, frowning and groaning. It hurts. She looked at him worriedly. You're awake? He held his head, replying, I was planning to sleep for a while longer. But you keep touching my palm, it's really very itchy. Her cheeks were still flushed red. Sorry, I thought. That's right, the doctor said you have a mild concussion. How do you feel now? He hurriedly grabbed the opportunity. I wasn't injured at all, but you slapped me, and I really feel dizzy. She was startled, hurriedly waving her hand. I didn't do it on purpose. That's right, I'll call the doctor. She turned around, intending to go out and shout, Doctor. He hurriedly grabbed her hand. I'm okay. He smiled, looking at her. I'm just teasing you, I'm really okay. She pointed at his face angrily, shouting, Don't always be frivolous. That explosion was no joke. What exactly is going on? He looked at her with some tension. What exactly is going on still needs to be asked of that Chowren. Is there any news from the police? She closed her eyes, not looking at him. Not yet, they said they would notify me when they have the investigation results. But as for Chowren, I have already called the vice principal to ask. He hurriedly asked, What's the situation? She glanced at him. He is someone who was arranged by the Tianming group. He frowned suspiciously. He sat on the bed, looking silly, unable to understand. The Tianming group? What is that? Mu Qin was stunned, unable to believe it. You don't know? She seriously explained it to He in detail. The Tianming group is a big force in Jinyan City, and it is also one of the important investors in our school. He stood up, starting to unbutton his shirt, turning to Mu Qin. So that's why the vice principal couldn't refuse their request to stuff someone into the school. Seeing Hee's actions, her face flushed, looking a little embarrassed. She retreated slightly. What are you doing? Why are you suddenly taking off your clothes? At this time, he had also taken it off and turned uncomfortably. I want to change clothes to be discharged from the hospital. Where are my clothes? Mu Qin closed her eyes tightly, hurriedly waving her hand. Your clothes are all broken. I have prepared a new set for you. What about my old clothes? She threw the bag towards him, then stared blankly at the bag in her hand. It's under the bed. He sat down, taking off his clothes and took the box underneath. Inside the box was still carefully wrapped. He was relieved. That's great, the important things are still there. Then took out his vest and changed into it. By now, he had already put on the vest, smiling. Thank you. Then quickly stepped towards the door, behind Mu Qin, who was both worried and confused. But the doctor said you have a mild concussion, you should rest for a few days. He stopped, glancing back slightly. Although I also want to lie down and rest, there are more important things to do. He pondered silently. I have a feeling this matter is not over yet. He turned to face Mu Qin, giving her something. Here, take one, be careful these days. Mu Qin was stunned, taken aback. What is this? Seeing this, she also quickly reached out to take it. He didn't forget to tell her, a protective charm. It can save your life. I gave one to all the people close to me. Mu Qin looked at the charm in her hand shyly, her cheeks flushed red, falling into contemplation. People close to me. The scene switched to another place. Warm sunlight shone down on the large gate. The sound of conversation rang out. Do you want to learn some self-defense charms? Inside the room, the two people sat facing each other. He held a teacup in his hand, replying, That's right, although I have a protective charm from you, I can't always rely on you. He smiled happily, scratching his head, looking a little embarrassed. I think if I can learn magic to draw charms, I won't need to bother you anymore in the future. Xing Feng stroked his beard, pondering, considering. He closed his eyes, patiently explaining in detail. Actually, charms are not too advanced for us. There's no problem teaching you, but whether you can learn it or not still depends on your potential and chance. Great Master Zheng, just teach me. I won't blame you whether I learn it or not. Suddenly remembering something, he hurriedly instructed him. But there's one more thing, the gold paper used to draw the charms, you have to prepare it yourself. He was probably a little surprised when he heard this, looking blank. Huh! The sunlight outside shone into the room where they were talking. Xing Feng spoke to remind him, It's not that I'm stingy, but every charm from the Tian Sher Fu must have responsibility for it. If I give you blank gold paper, it's no different from signing a blank check, and we can't control what you will use it for. He happily smiled, raising his thumb, admiring. I understand, then I will find suitable materials myself. He pulled up his sleeve, replying comfortably. Okay, then I will teach you the standard for using gold paper and how to draw the basic types of charms. The two exchanged with each other like this. Outside he walked, smiling secretly, thinking, it's really strange, although Great Master Zheng lectured a lot, I can still remember everything, even I myself am surprised. Looking down at his bandaged hand, pondering, it must also be thanks to this thing that reinforced it. He walked slowly on the street, observing the surrounding stalls. He said that the gold paper for drawing charms also has many levels, usually it can be found on Antique Street. I have never paid attention to it before. Suddenly he stopped in front of a shop, looking up, considering. Moreover, he also said, this paper is usually sold at funeral supply stores, places like this. He hesitated, considering, finally deciding to go in. Thinking carefully, it's also reasonable, anyway, playing together with ancient jade and feng shui items is too weird. Seeing the stacks of yellow paper inside, he was secretly happy. Found it. Suddenly someone appeared from behind him. What do you want to buy? He couldn't help but be startled, his face turning pale, turning back. Regaining his composure, he pointed to the stack of paper, asking the man, how much is this? 20 yuan a stack. Then pointed to the smaller stack of paper next to it. What about this? He thought, how much is a stack? Selling it together with Joss paper probably isn't too expensive. Who knew things were not what he wanted? Qing Shang replied calmly, 1,400 yuan a sheet. How much? Are you mistaken? 1,400 yuan, and only one sheet? He couldn't help but be startled. Turning around in panic, he still maintained a calm expression. Do you think I don't know the goods, so I put it together with joss paper? This is the type of paper that Tian Sher used to draw charms. The production process is extremely complicated. Don't think I don't understand. He only felt embarrassed, scratching his head awkwardly. Qin Shang came forward, putting the paper away. He stood next to him, then defended his actions just now. I didn't mean to deceive you. I really didn't know this thing was so expensive. You're not from the Tian Sher Fu, right? Hearing the words, he stared blankly, observing his expression. No, but the people from the Tian Sher Fu told me to come here to buy it. Qin Shang held the stack of paper in his hand, smiling, mentioning, if you find my place expensive, go ask over there, there will be an auction of gold paper and charms there later. He was happy in his heart, walking outside, not forgetting to turn back to thank him. Great, thank you for the information, I'll go over there and take a look. He stood behind, watching him walk away, secretly revealing a cunning smile, full of calculations. He went outside, walking towards the place where everyone was gathered, turning to ask the person standing nearby, excuse me, is this the auction? That's right. Great Master Jiaga Qin Shang is coming to auction charms. I heard that his charms can summon ghosts and gods, there are even charms from the heavens. Hearing this, he was startled, pondering. Can summon ghosts and gods? Heavenly charms, then is this Jiaga Qin Shang so powerful? He didn't hesitate anymore, hurriedly stepping forward, pulling everyone away, and going inside. I must see with my own eyes who this character is. The sign appeared, Charm Auction of Great Master Jiaga Qin Shang. He looked up, examining. So those are the two words. Over there, the crowd began to shout. Great Master Jia is here, Great Master Jiaga Qin Shang. He quickly turned around to look. Qin Shang had changed clothes, walking out blankly. He couldn't help but be stunned, surprised, feeling like he had been deceived. It's him? His expression sank, dejected. I thought he was kindly giving me directions, but it turned out he just wanted to attract a crowd for himself. He returned to his serious look, observing this place. Forget it, let's see if he's really as powerful as others say first. Charm Auction of Great Master Jiaga Qin Shang. The opening voice rang out, today, Great Master Jia has a total of 9 charms. Today, Great Master Jia has a total of 9 charms. He calmly sat there blankly. Next to him was a subordinate, holding a camera, broadcasting live. There were also more on the table, then began to call out. 3 for treatment, 3 for seeking wealth, 2 for exorcism, and 1 for seeking marriage. The auction will begin online and offline at the same time. Whoever bids the highest will win. Qin Shang only smiled leisurely. He lowered his head, frowning, judging secretly. I thought this old man had something special, but it turns out this person's moral character is nothing special at all. Seeing he in front, he called to him. Young man over there, I see you sighing, are you regretting not buying my charm paper just now? Qin Shang smiled slyly, his heart full of excitement. You thought it was expensive just now, but now I'm afraid you can't afford it even more. He closed his eyes, bowing slightly. I sighed because of those charms. Then raised his head, accusing him with hatred. They were still valuable when they hadn't been drawn with charms, but now that you have defiled them, they have become useless. Qin Wen was stunned when he heard this, bursting with anger. You! The table with the charms that had been drawn on, he angrily slammed his hand on the table, pointing straight at his face. Are you someone from the opponent? Sent to sabotage my business? Guards, drive him out. Hearing the order, they came forward to stop he, not willing to be weak and let him do whatever he wanted, he continued to complain. Drive me out for what? Is this your land? Get out, if you keep wandering around, you'll get beaten. Suddenly a girl appeared here, she immediately raised her voice. 3 million. He, standing nearby, was shocked and startled. She eagerly explained, those 3 healing charms, I want them. This person was Li Shuwen. He stood there, pointing his finger, advising her. This girl, I don't know if you're joking, but this person is definitely a liar, don't be deceived. A person suddenly appeared to stop him, causing he to be stunned. He gestured to him. Back off. Shuwen looked over in shock. She came forward, smiling, stopping him. Thank you for the reminder, but my father really needs these charms to heal his illness, and I believe in Great Master Jiaga. Miss. Qin Shang happily stood up, as if catching a golden fish. Thank you for your trust, but this is an auction, and we will have to see if there is a higher price offered. He smiled sinisterly, gesturing to his accomplice behind. He had received the signal. Behind Shuwen, a man quickly offered a price. I also want to buy these healing charms. I bid 3.5 million. She panicked a little, hurriedly offering a price. Then I bid 4 million. He offered a higher price. 4.5 million. He glanced over calmly, reminding her. Don't raise the price anymore, this is obviously a scam. He saw him and was extremely angry, roaring. Hasn't this guy disappeared yet? If you're not buying, then don't affect others. I'm warning you for the last time, leave this place now. He also didn't agree to leave, directly confronting Qin Shang. I'm not leaving, what are you going to do? He quietly took a talisman out from his sleeve, warning if it was like that. Then don't blame me for being ruthless. Qin Shang threw the talisman straight towards He. He simply tore it down, looking at the thing in his hand with disgust. What is this? The people standing to watch the excitement discussed with each other. Why can he throw it so far? To be able to throw such a light piece of paper so far, he definitely has kung fu. Great Master Jiaga is not easy to provoke. He laughed excitedly, his eyes scheming. Today I will divine a hexagram for you. Something will happen to you today. It's best to go home quickly, otherwise it will be difficult to keep your life. He wasn't afraid of those threats, replying calmly. Don't think I don't dare to say, but recently I just encountered a case where someone was injured by a talisman. So I also gave some guidance to some people in the industry. I know what you did to me. He closed his eyes, seriously chanting a spell. Immersing himself inside, the talisman is just a type of trick. When I go downstairs or cross the road, it will make my eyes go dark, then it can lead to an accident. Only then did he become confused and panicked. Damn it, I've encountered a tough customer. He held the talisman up, confronting him. Am I right? Qin Shang looked horrified, trying to explain. What nonsense are you talking about? He huddled down, gathering all his things, not forgetting to say, no auction today, clean up. He had no intention of letting Qin Shang go, standing out to block the way. He calmly provoked him. Don't leave like that, I also want to give you a hexagram. His face looked worried and surprised, sweat flowing down profusely. What do you want to do? He raised his fist, causing the talisman to flutter in the air. I predict that you will encounter a bloody disaster today. Quickly taking action to deal with Qin Shang. He fell sprawling on the ground. He was disappointed, showing his dejection. I thought you were an expert, but it turns out you're so weak. His hands tightly grabbed the talismans, swinging them out forcefully, questioning. You only know how to rely on a little trick to deceive people. Your talismans can only harm people. Can they save lives? I also know this type of trick. The talisman stuck to the ground, surrounding the place where he fell down. Qin Shang's expression was terrified. He still wasn't willing to let it go, grabbing the phone that was broadcasting live, warning. Everyone remember, this person is a fraud. Those who have placed orders should ask for a refund. In the future, if you encounter this type of person, then call the police immediately. Not forgetting to emphasize his advice. Remember to download the anti-fraud app on your phone. Then just walked away heroically, leaving everyone standing in shock. He held the talismans tightly in his hand, looking down. These yellow paper can still be used, consider it his money for defrauding people. Seeing him walking like that, Shuwen hurriedly ran over to stop him. This great master, please wait a moment. He suddenly stopped, staring back in shock. The two stood facing each other. She gasped for breath. He replied calmly. Don't call me great master, I'm just a teacher. Shuwen's big, bright eyes looked up, looking a little scared. Teacher, can you help me with something? His expression became relaxed. Tell me. Suddenly, from behind Shuwen, a black aura appeared. He was panicked. At this time, she still didn't know what was happening, looking blankly. This teacher, hey. What are you looking at? The black aura flew into the sky. The three people looked up in surprise, but Xiao Zhao and Shuwen didn't know what was there. He turned back in shock. He smiled, scratching his head, erasing the tense atmosphere. No, it's nothing, continue talking. she introduced hesitantly. My name is Li Shuwen. I came today to ask for a healing charm for my father. Thankfully, with your help, I didn't fall for the scammer's trick. He suddenly felt helpless. If you're sick, then go to the hospital. Why are you asking for charms? Shuwen's expression became sad, sighing, bowing her head to explain. It's not that we didn't go, it's that we went to many hospitals and there was no way to treat it. He was still secretly watching the black aura radiating from her body, then fell into silence. But she said it was her father's illness, but on her head she carries such a large black aura. It's like... He frowned, pointing his finger at Shuwen. Your family, it's not just your father who is sick, right? Hearing this, she shuddered, looking panicked, her face turning pale. How do you know? As expected. Shuwen spoke weakly. Actually, this is a type of family illness of ours. There are no symptoms usually, but at a certain age, the person will begin to decline. She thought about those memories. Some people can only lie in bed, some people have to move around in wheelchairs. My great-grandfather died at 70 years old. My grandfather only lived to 60 years old. My father didn't even reach 50 before symptoms appeared. Shuwen was scared, trembling, covering her face, awkwardly saying to He, I don't want my father to die early like that. Seeing her like that, he scratched his head, asking kindly. The hospital can't find out what the illness is either? That's right. Shuwen looked helpless. So someone said, it sounds very similar. Her expression suddenly changed, unable to imagine that this matter was a curse. Shuwen looked straight into his eyes. That's why I came to ask for these charms, hoping that they could have an effect. He pondered silently, thinking. My research on charms is only introductory. Treatment is only seeing injuries to legs and hands for others. I'm afraid I can't help with such a big matter. He spoke, explaining in detail. It's not that I don't want to help, but I really don't have that ability. Why don't you go ask the Tian Sher Fu? You can say that teacher he introduced you. Shuwen, not giving up hope, called out to him as he walked forward, Teacher he. He turned around and advised, they will probably help. Both the bodyguard and she stood there, watching his figure. Xiao Zhao looked at Shuwen worriedly. Miss, what should we do? She snapped out of it, becoming resolute. Follow him, investigate which school he teaches at. Maybe he's our savior. We must not miss this opportunity. Scene change. Leaves slowly fell, sunlight shining on buildings. He took out a stack of papers from his wallet, contemplating, it's really chaotic lately. I must quickly make better talismans to protect the safety of my family. Thinking this, he started working. Preparing stacks of paper, he dipped the brush in ink. Observing the brush in his hand, he pondered, now, I'll recall what Master Jing said. He quickly closed his eyes, first forming a scene in his mind. He began to recall and draw, then he infused his will into the brush. A wisp of black smoke emerged from the brush's tip. Although I heard this knowledge for the first time, I don't know why. He closed his eyes, pondering, slowly feeling the power. A light surrounded He's body. These words are like a key, unlocking many things I've forgotten, like... He decisively put the brush down as beams of light floated up. I already knew what to do. The talisman was meticulously written from his memories. He picked it up, observing it with a satisfied smile. It's done. He placed the talisman on the table, pondering, it's the same today. It seems I innately know which yellow paper is truly good. Is this also part of my memories? He reached out to take another sheet. As soon as he picked it up, a surge of energy enveloped the paper. He stared blankly. This feeling, it's a heavenly realm talisman paper. He was startled when he realized this. That swindler actually had this kind of real thing in his hands. Remembering when he hit the swindler, the papers flew everywhere in the air and probably got mixed up. He smiled with amusement. He probably doesn't even know this is a good thing. He excitedly gripped the brush. Great, such a good thing must be utilized. Then, he stared at the image in his hand. What should I draw that's more powerful? He resolutely put the brush down, pondering, right, I'll draw this. He seriously drew, then paused. Closing his eyes, he felt, concentrated his mind, essence, and spirit, formed a scene, and infused it into the brush. The image of a girl appeared, surrounded by strong energy, the person I want to protect. She smiled radiantly, lovingly holding it in her hand. My power. The energy surged violently. He stood there, continuing to command, this design brings me a lot of power. It can definitely protect my family and friends. Completed, he excitedly picked up the talisman. Staring at it, okay, I'll send this to my sister. The drawing on the talisman looked a bit strange. He's expression was a bit embarrassed as he chuckled. It turned out like this. Will it really be effective? He thought for a moment, then resolutely chanted an incantation for the talisman. If the talisman is effective, I should see it shine brightly. The talisman in his hand started to smoke. He stared in disbelief. No way. Seeing the situation, he could only hold his head and wail helplessly. What a miserable failure. I rarely use such precious heavenly realm talisman paper. What a waste. He looked up, silently contemplating. Then, he slumped down. Oh well, it's just a training phase. Failure is normal. At this time, the sky had turned dark, with sparkling stars shining in the sky. Lights were still on in the buildings. Later, I'll go back to Jiaiji to Qingchang to buy some yellow paper. Scene changed to the next day at school. Students were walking to class. Morning sunlight shone into the room. He sat there, pondering. These healing talismans are drawn quite well. These attack talismans need improvement. Suddenly, Teacher Zhou appeared behind him. Teacher, he is preparing lesson plans? He was startled and turned around. He quickly covered up what was on the table and turned around, smiling awkwardly. Yeah, preparing lesson plans. He smiled curiously. Do physical education teachers also have to prepare lesson plans? Just have the students run a few laps around the field, and that's it. Teacher Zhou spoke, then turned his back, smiling meaningfully and ambiguously. Anyway, you get paid without using your brain. Why bother wasting effort? He looked at his back. Feeling uncomfortable but unable to say anything. Is it any of your business? Thinking this, he angrily picked up the lesson plan on the table and walked out. Yes, I'll take the students to run a few laps around the field right away. Teacher Zhou listened to these words, standing there and scornfully observing his actions, silently showing his dislike. In the classroom, the window curtains were not fully drawn. He stood there, looking at the stack of paper in his hand. Holding the talisman that looked like what he had drawn yesterday, he seemed frustrated. It's a pity to throw this talisman away. Maybe it has other uses. He stood in the room, observing the talismans in his hand. I'll try the attack talisman first. Then, he resolutely stretched it out in front of him. He seriously chanted an incantation. A large fire appeared, burning the talisman, causing he to freeze in place. He smiled happily. Success. And it didn't burn me. While he was excited and thrilled outside, Teacher Zhou was quietly standing outside the door, recording a video. He smiled sinisterly, secretly planning, even if I don't know what trick he's playing, this video is enough to get him into big trouble. Suddenly, someone walked up to where Teacher Zhou was kneeling and recording a video. What are you doing? The voice startled him in fear. The cleaning worker angrily held a bucket and mop, staring at Teacher Zhou. Inside, he was observing the flame, secretly studying how to control it. I'm still not skilled at controlling the position. The person was about to grab Teacher Zhou when he fearfully pushed open the door and entered. What are you doing? Hearing the loud noise, he couldn't help but panic and turn around. The flames were rising. Suddenly, the fire flared up on the curtains by the window. He was terrified and shouted, It's ruined! Fire! Quick, put out the fire! Seeing this, the worker didn't hesitate and poured the entire bucket of water to put out the fire. He then spoke up, Thank you. Teacher Zhou began to evade, secretly putting the phone in his pocket, then questioned him, Teacher what are you doing? You almost caused a fire. He now saw him, escaping his surprise. Stammering, he explained, No, I. Teacher Zhou angrily didn't let him explain, pulled out his phone, and pointed it at He's face. You wait, I'm going to find the principal right away. The worker couldn't bear Teacher Zhou's behavior, and whispered to him, He just recorded a video of your actions. Hearing these words, he looked at him in surprise. What? He immediately ran to the door and defended himself. Teacher Zhou, listen to my explanation. I was just doing a chemistry experiment. He glanced over, silently adjusting his hat. He suddenly remembered something and turned slightly. Oh right, the janitor just now. I seem to have met him somewhere before. Outside the hallway, he hurriedly ran towards him, not forgetting to look back at the other person, then tried to suppress himself. Is it an illusion? Scene changed to in front of the principal's office. Principal Mu Qin sat there, seriously watching the video on the device. Teacher Zhou didn't let he off, continuing to point and tattle. Principal Mu, look, he almost burned down the empty classroom. Her expression was indifferent as she turned to question him. What's going on? At this time, he could only lower his head and admit his mistake. Sorry, it's my fault. Principal Mu Qin angrily stood up and confronted him. At least you have to give me a reason. Speak quickly. Standing next to him, Teacher Zhou kept adding fuel to the fire, laughing at he just said he was doing a chemistry experiment. A physical education teacher doing a chemistry experiment? Do you think this excuse is funny? Hearing this, she immediately changed her mood, laughing happily and clapping. So it's a chemistry experiment. That's your fault. You should do experiments in the chemistry lab. Seeing this, both of them were stunned, looking at the principal in astonishment. Principal Mu Qin smiled in disgust with him. Teacher Zhou is very responsible. Fortunately, you discovered it early. He saw her expression as if she was a bit flustered. No way, is it over like this? Principal Mu Qin patted Teacher Zhou's shoulder, instructing, go back first. I'll talk to Teacher He about the compensation for the curtains and determining responsibility. His expression darkened, feeling puzzled and uncomfortable as he walked to the door, not forgetting to glance at him. He secretly rejoiced, looking back at him without weakness. In the room, now only 2 people were left. He spoke to ease the atmosphere. Thank you, Principal Mu. She calmly leaned against the table. She suggested, I advise you to be careful in the future. There are quite a few people in the school who are paying attention to you. He scratched his head in confusion. Why? Do I have a feud with many people? Mu Qin closed her eyes helplessly. I'm not too clear about the specific situation, but like Teacher Chow before, some spies have been placed in the school, and even I can't control them. He pondered, thinking of the working man spies. Leaving the principal's office, walking in the hallway, he seriously considered spies. Frowning, he considered, that cleaning worker is the most suspicious. Suddenly hearing something, he carefully leaned against the wall, at this time perhaps sensing a vision. Is it that cleaning worker? Suspiciously observing his surroundings, the feeling of being watched is back, and this familiar buzzing sound. Suddenly, a flycam appeared on the ceiling. His expression turned gloomy. Angrily grabbing it, he yelled, Guofei, is that you again, you brat? Don't break my drone. The flycam made a sound. Teacher He, we're waiting for you in the chemistry lab. At this time, his expression darkened, angrily clenching his fist. Angrily, he followed it, walking to the room. Guofei. His expression suddenly changed quickly, in disbelief as he witnessed this scene. You guys. In the room, the students were standing there, waiting for him. They began to curiously speculate about him. We heard, the principal told you to come to the chemistry lab to play, right? Teacher He, what trouble did you cause again? He didn't care about the question, calmly returning the item to Guofei. Are you guys always monitoring me? Don't wrong us. We don't monitor you all the time. We just happened to hear you talking to the principal. Shan Shan then spoke up, I can testify. We accidentally overheard when we were passing by, so we came to wait for you. He sat down on the chair dejectedly, sighing, what are you waiting for me for? It's not like I really want to do a chemistry experiment. They were very curious to know what had happened, so, what happened after all? He signaled to stop. I don't know. Even Principal Mu doesn't know what's going on. How can I know? You suddenly mentioned, it's probably related to martial artists. He suddenly became curious, the matter of martial artists? Do you know something? She seemed hesitant, lowering her head slightly. There are martial artists in my family too. So, it seems Teacher He's reputation has spread. What reputation do I have? Yu quickly explained, it's just that I don't understand the words of the adults. Anyway, they all say you are a rising star in the martial arts world. He pointed at himself in confusion. A rising star? Me? The students in the room teased him with amusement. Teacher He, don't pretend to be humble anymore. How powerful are you now? Do you think we don't know? Isn't it just because of this that I'm being targeted? It seems so. I guess this is a big tree attracting wind, right? Over here, Guofei tiptoed toward the cabinet. Oh, this glass cabinet isn't locked. Happy in his heart, he fumbled with the bottles inside. Usually, Teacher He doesn't let anyone touch this place. Let me see what's inside. Mom! A scream echoed throughout the room. Everyone inside, not understanding what had happened, turned to look. What's wrong? He wailed with a pale face. it hurts so much. Seeing the bottle spill on the floor, Shan Shan suddenly exclaimed in shock, "It's acid!" She hurried to run. "I'll get water over here." He immediately stopped her. "No, you can't use water." Suddenly, Teacher Zhou, holding a phone, burst open the door, not forgetting to smile provocatively. "Finally, you've caused trouble this time too." Everyone in the room was also stunned to see Teacher Zhou's presence. He smiled sinisterly. "Let's see how the principal will protect you this time." Saying this, Teacher Zhou happily ran to report to the principal. "Wait." Shan Shan looked at him in shock. "You." He spoke to them, "Ignore him," and went to check Guofei's injury. He cried and wailed in pain. "Teacher He, save me." He calmly reassured him, "Don't worry." He took out a talisman, carefully chanting an incantation. "Lingbao, Heavenly Lord." He waved the talisman forward. Behind him, a powerful energy radiated, slowly feeling, comforting the body, soul, and spirit of the disciple, the five viscera mysterious and bright. Guofei closed his eyes in fear. Strangely, the wound on his hand gradually faded. He stared at his hand, excitedly coming back to life. "It doesn't hurt anymore." Guofei excitedly praised, "It's okay now. Teacher He, you're so amazing." He looked down, a bit tired. The fire of anger burst out in his heart, yelling and hitting him on the head. "How old are you? Are you still in elementary school? Are you itchy?" Gritting his teeth in anger, a lump suddenly appeared on his head where he had just been hit. Fearfully scratching his head, he affirmed, "I won't dare to do it again next time." Shan Shan turned around. "Everyone, listen, is that the sound of an ambulance?" They went to the window and looked down at the excitement below. Ambulances and police cars had arrived. From a distance, there even seemed to be fire trucks. Someone suddenly appeared from behind, calling, "Teacher He." Everyone in the room was startled and turned around. Holding a mop, he announced to them, "Teacher Zhou Dong just called the police. You guys get out of here quickly. Leave the rest to me." He quickly went forward. "Who are you?" He only replied, "Zhou Dong is leading the teachers over here. If you don't leave, you won't be able to explain." Calmly putting on gloves, he thought, plastic gloves, acid resistant. Cleaning workers usually don't know these things. Forget it, it's better to leave first. Anxiously, he told them to go outside. "Let's go," leaving only him in the room. He turned to observe this person. "I have met him somewhere before. This familiar feeling." Teacher Zhou then pointed the principal, security, and firefighters to the room. "Quick, over in the chemistry lab, a teacher has injured a student." Teacher Zhou smiled slyly. "This time, I brought so many witnesses. I don't believe anyone can protect you anymore." Unexpectedly, he saw the worker walking out. Hurriedly running over, "You over there, don't go." He silently glanced at Teacher Zhou behind him. Teacher Zhou led a group of people, including the principal, and went over. He grabbed the cleaning worker and questioned him. "What are you doing here? Where is he?" The worker slowly replied, "Teacher, he left early. I just finished cleaning the room." Teacher Zhou squeezed past the worker and went to the door. He injured a student so badly, how could he just leave? Facing an empty room, Teacher Zhou froze for a few seconds. The worker pulled his hat low, then said a few words to Teacher Zhou, who was staring blankly. No one was injured. "I saw they were all healthy when they left." Teacher Zhou's face turned completely green as he turned to explain to the principal. "Impossible. I saw it with my own eyes. It was right here just now." Mu Qin stood right at the door, looking at Teacher Zhou with a dissatisfied frown. "Teacher Zhou, that's enough. I know you have a prejudice against Teacher He. But you can't just call the police and waste resources like this." Teacher Zhou rummaged for something in his pocket, his face flustered as he tried to prove it. "Everyone, look for yourselves. I left evidence. In the phone, there was an image of he and the student. What are these two doing?" The police looked at it, and turned to Mu Qin to confirm. "Principal Mu, if there is evidence, then call the injured student over to ask clearly." They really went to find Guofei. He repeated the question with a dazed face. "I'm injured? No way." Teacher Zhou lost his composure, wanting to confirm with his own eyes. "Obviously I saw it. Don't lie. I clearly saw you injured." Guofei rolled up his sleeves. "Do you mean this hand?" A healthy arm was put out, the whiteness of it making Teacher Zhou's face turn white too. "Everyone, look." The doctor who came along also spoke up. "It looks like he really wasn't injured. Is this confirmed to be the student?" "Impossible. It can't be like this." Mu Qin sternly wanted to teach Teacher Zhou a lesson. What's going on? Tell me. Teacher Zhou trembled, stuttering, no, I. He felt like he was hitting a rock with an egg. Why did it turn out like this? His face furious, he turned to look at Guofei. Then, he suddenly picked up his phone and held it up in front of him. You tell me. Were you injured just now? If not, why were you crying? Guofei was startled and replied. Can I cry if I didn't do well on the exam? The students around him, who didn't know when they had arrived, now suddenly spoke up. That's right. We were just teasing him. He doesn't study usually. What's the use of crying after the exam? Guofei escaped from Teacher Zhou's grip and freely expressed his feelings. Just now, thanks to Teacher He's advice, I feel much better. I hope everyone doesn't rub salt in my wound. Teacher Zhou was stunned. Again. No, it can't be like this again. After talking for so long, the main character finally appeared. He opened the door and walked in, his expression serious. Why are there so many people? What's going on here? Teacher Zhou looked at the person he hated with eyes like bullets. Then, he even pointed at him, complaining, What are you doing here? Are you returning to the scene of the crime? He walked to Teacher Zhou's side, his expression calm. This period is physical education. I saw no one was on the field, so I came over to check. Mu Qin looked at Teacher Zhou, perhaps wanting to make things difficult for him, so she spoke up to stop him. It's okay, Teacher He, it's just a misunderstanding. I can handle it. Go back to class and teach. Those people also followed each other out of the room. Teacher Zhou, you have to explain this to me clearly. Wasting police resources is a violation of the law. You called 120, right? Go pay the bill yourself. We'll investigate the unfounded call to the fire department thoroughly. Looking at their dejected figures leaving, he scoffed. Guofei exhaled and smiled brightly at He. How was it, Teacher He? I helped you solve this matter. He knocked him on the head, scolding, You still dare to say that? You little brat caused it. In another place, under the schoolyard, Xiao Zhao threw the workers' clothes into the trash can, pressing the phone and calling someone. He adjusted his tie, talking to the other end of the line. I witnessed it with my own eyes. He really has very strong healing abilities and cares a lot about his students. He didn't know what the other side said. Only hearing his vague replies, I understand. I'll be right back. Returning to the most miserable teacher in the world, Teacher Zhou was sitting sadly in one place. The colleagues saw his haggard figure and felt sorry for him. I heard he called the police several times. Just now, the police, doctors, and firefighters all came. It seems it was because of a personal grudge. I heard he's been fired. That's right. He embarrassed the schools so much. How could he not be fired? Just as they finished gossiping, the person in question heard it, and glared at them, scaring them half to death. Regaining their senses, they started pretending to be oblivious. I'm going to teach now. I'm going to the library for a bit. I'm going to the restroom. Leaving behind the lonely figure of the suffering villain slumped on the table. He glanced at the empty table on the other side, hating in his heart, It's all because of you. He seemed to be going crazy, going to He's table and destroying it. Obviously you did something wrong. Why am I the one who got fired? Just as he raised his jacket, he suddenly stopped. Damn it! He kept scolding. Just as something like a talisman fell down. What's this? Teacher Zhou picked it up, not knowing what to think. A malicious smile appeared on his lips. I finally caught your foxtail. Putting the talisman in his pocket, his mood was much better. You've been messing with this thing. There must be something fishy. Teacher Zhou turned to leave, feeling completely relaxed. Wait, I'm not done with you yet. While walking, something suddenly made his foot smoke. Ouch! Still trying to limp with his inexplicably painful foot, what the hell? Suddenly, someone opened the door hitting him right in the face, causing him pain. Sorry. What a disaster! Teacher Zhou dragged his suffering and injured body down the stairs. Damn it! I'm so unlucky that I choke even when drinking water. Glaring with eyes that could no longer open, he still tried to hold on to the resentment in his heart. Just wait, just you wait. He in the schoolyard suddenly saw medical personnel carrying a stretcher running, wondering, why is the ambulance back again? The next day, Confronting High School, have you heard? Zhou Dong was taken away by an ambulance yesterday. The female colleagues were gossiping in the office during break. It seems he fell down the stairs. He's so unlucky. He listened, puzzled, and soon figured out a few things. Yesterday, I only realized I lost that talisman when I got home. He must have taken it. He leisurely walked, drinking milk. He brought it on himself. That talisman was so torn. Anyone who uses it is sure to die. Suddenly his footsteps stopped. He smiled slightly. That's right, that's also a way to use talismans. The person who attacked me last time must have also used this trick, using talismans to curse others. Thinking this, it was also when he finished drinking the milk, throwing it into the trash can. In the future, I should prepare a few talismans like that. Even if I don't want to harm anyone, I still have to be prepared. Thinking about bad things, he was suddenly called by name. He rarely turned pale, teacher he. But he quickly restored his usual calm appearance. Listening to the person saying, teacher he, can you substitute for the class in class 2 this period? Me? He was a little puzzled. Isn't teacher Zhou the homeroom teacher of class 2? Why are you asking me to substitute? The teacher stuttered, explaining, well, today 2 new transfer students came, and I heard they transferred because they admired your reputation. Not knowing what happened to him, he became more and more shaky as he spoke, covered in cold sweat. It seems they have an extraordinary identity, so... He scratched his head. Who is it? He barely wondered when he got the answer. He felt tired. Oh. The person who entered the classroom was Li Shuwen, and next to her was Xiao Zhao, the one who pretended to be a cleaning worker yesterday. He felt exhausted. What's going on? Li Shuwen was as beautiful as the summer sun, as radiant as white moonlight, introducing herself in front of the whole class. Hello everyone, I'm Li Shuwen. Xiao Zhao, standing next to her, also briefly introduced himself. Zhao Jigang. He, with a troubled face, was summoned by Li Shuwen. Teacher he, introduce us, please. He regained his serious demeanor as a teacher, introducing, these are 2 new transfer students. I hope everyone gets along well with each other. The students in the class began to evaluate the 2, especially that tall and scary guy. The girl is fine, but that boy, is he really the same age as us? He approached Li Shuwen and asked in a low voice, what do you 2 want? Why did you chase me all the way here? Li Shuwen put on an extremely shy expression, looking at he with sparkling eyes. It's nothing, we just want to be your students. Then she laughed loudly, saying it again, it's nothing, we just want to be your students. As soon as she sat down, she heard the words of the students sitting next to her. That person is so big, and his face is so old. Speaking of Xiao Zhao, it was true that he was old, but they still praised Li Shuwen. But that girl is really pretty. Guofei was still mischievous as ever, still wanting to cause trouble. Let me take a few close-up shots to see how they look. He began to control his plane to fly high, approaching Li Shuwen. The 2 on the other side still didn't know about this plan. But Xiao Zhao quickly sensed something coming. A precise hand strike hit the plane, causing it to fall. Guofei, who was controlling it, was terrified. My drone. He rushed over, wanting to catch his plane. Suddenly he felt a cold spine. Turning around, he saw Xiao Zhao holding a big dumpling, giving him an unfriendly reminder. From now on, don't bring toys like that to school. Guofei was so scared that he almost peed his pants. I know. Xiao Zhao reached out to take the plane down, throwing the plane to Guofei like a courier, then leaving. Guofei returned to his seat, looking at the plane with tears in his eyes. He saw all these scenes, and he himself was a little scared. This is not good at all. After the difficult classes of the students in the class ended, he had the opportunity to ask the truth outside. Tell me, what are you 2 here for? Li Shuwen replied seriously, it's still about the last time. Please save my father, save our Li family. He shook his head. I said it last time, I really don't have the ability. Xiao Zhao spoke up. I saw with my own eyes that you used a talisman to heal the student. He scratched his head. That's not the same level. Li Shuwen clasped her hands together, looking at he with respectful eyes, pleading word by word. I know you are very good to your students, so I want to be your disciple. Just hoping that you will help us once. He was really embarrassed. What disciple? You are just a transfer student, and the important thing is not that. At this time, a person passed by and saw he, asking, Teacher he, what's wrong? It's nothing, just this student wanting to compete with me. His eyes were still on the colleague when suddenly a fist was delivered. Xiao Zhao was fast, but he didn't easily let himself get hurt like that. The 2 exchanged moves, and he thought to himself, this guy can't be underestimated. Looking at the big guy in front of him, he was a little worried. He rushed up again. The two touched hands, and he realized one thing: he's also a martial artist. The colleague saw them fighting and shouted, "What?" Only seeing the two of them rushing at each other, "What's going on? Are you okay?" Li Shuwen came from behind, patting his shoulder to reassure him. "It's okay, teacher," he just said. "It's just an exchange, you just do your work." After solving the problem, she frowned and looked at the two. The two of them were still fighting to the death. He was fighting and thinking in his head, even if I can win, I can't be too heavy-handed in school. Unexpectedly, Xiao Zhao spoke first. "Let's stop here." Xiao Zhao clasped his hands and said politely to He, "I can see that you were holding back. I am not your opponent." He also bowed his head in return. This guy is also a master, able to recognize that I deliberately kept my strength. Li Shuwen now came to make peace. "Okay, we don't have any malicious intentions, just wanting to clarify our identities a bit." She turned to He. "We are descendants of a martial artist family, the same kind of people as you." He scratched his head, staring at her. "Even if you are also martial artists, this disease..." Li Shuwen interrupted. "This is not a disease. This is a curse aimed at my family, a family guarding the gateway to the heavenly realm." He opened his eyes wide. The gateway, the heavenly realm. Remembering what Ouyangdao said, the only chance to return is to wait for the immortal gate to open. He suddenly said loudly, "Do you mean the immortal gate?" "You can call it that too." Li Shuwen grasped the point. "Do you also know about the gateway to the heavenly realm?" He nodded, then looked around before whispering, "I just heard others talk about it a little." "You are a family guarding the gateway, you must know quite a bit." Li Shuwen honestly said what she knew. Actually, calling it a family guarding is just a name. By my generation, no one knows what we are guarding anymore. It is rumored to be a gateway leading to the heavenly realm. He raised his eyebrows. "So you also don't know where the gateway is, and you don't know how to protect it." Speaking of this, Li Shuwen's eyes suddenly lost their light. "But our family has suffered from this unknown curse for generations. At first, we didn't realize it, because all the people who died were elders in the family." She had heard a lot, also said by her father, "Until my grandfather was seriously ill, my father discovered the pattern. The lifespan of the Li family is getting shorter and shorter." Tears fell from her eyes without her knowing, her face covered in salty tears, her words even more bitter. "After that, my grandfather died, and my father also fell into a similar situation." Then she knelt down. Kneeling in front of He, bowing her head hoping to receive help. "Teacher He, please help me end this evil curse." He stepped forward to help her up, not wanting to accept this heavy favor. "Get up. If you think this curse is related to the gateway to the heavenly realm, then you must have some evidence." Li Shuwen looked up. "Yes, although it's not concrete evidence, in the family's genealogy, it can be seen that someone is very dissatisfied with our identity as the gateway keeper." He nodded. "If I help, can I see those ancient records?" Li Shuwen hesitated unexpectedly. "This, miss." Xiao Zhao went up to remind her. "Ask tomorrow. I think the master will understand." Li Shuwen suddenly looked at He with determined eyes. "Okay, we promise." He wanted to make it clear first. No, wait, even if I suggest, I can't help you right now." He cleared his throat and continued, "But give me a year. I will cultivate more. By then, I will definitely find a solution." Li Shuwen trembled again. "But my father's health, can he withstand a year?" He laughed, patting her shoulder a few times. "Don't worry. Take me to see him some other time. Maybe I can find a way to temporarily prolong it." "Really? That's great." Xiao Zhao stepped forward, grabbing He's arm that touched Li Shuwen. He, in pain, asked in surprise, "What are you doing? We are already allies, why are you still guarding against me?" Xiao Zhao frowned, replying tightly, "Protecting the young lady is my duty." He didn't argue, brushing off his clothes. "Then what about you? At least you should tell me your real name. Allies should have some sincerity, right?" Xiao Zhao frowned even more. "What do you mean?" He laughed again, shrugging his shoulders. "I mean, the name you are using now is definitely fake. What era is it? Who would give such a rural name?" Li Shuwen tried to hold Xiao Zhao back, explaining to He, "Teacher He, you misunderstood. That's really his name." He stopped laughing, weakly saying, "Oh." Xiao Zhao took out his ID card from his pocket and put it in front of He, questioning, "What's wrong with my name?" Here's my ID card, Look carefully. Sorry, I was wrong. But he still took it to see, then exclaimed in shock, it's really true, even the age is real. You are really 18 years old. Xiao Zhao crossed his arms, angrily asking, a genuine high school student, any other opinions? No, no. Li Shuwen smiled, he's only a year older than me. The evening came before long. He took a clean bath and sat to look at the talismans. Okay, there's enough yellow paper. I'll prepare a few more to see what kind of curse it is. Looking at the talisman in his hand, he thought, although I may not be strong enough to remove it now, at least I can use it as a condition to investigate the Immortal Gate further. Grasping that thing in his hand, he made a very manly decision. Now, Yangdao doesn't know where he's gone, I also have to learn how to investigate myself. Leaning back, stretching his shoulders comfortably, if I find any clues related to the Immortal Gate, that would be a big surprise. Wait for tomorrow, then. The next day, standing in front of Li Shuwen's house, he received a shocking news. What? You can't let me see it? Xiao Zhao nodded helplessly. Sorry, I thought the master would agree, but... Xiao Zhao said, looking elsewhere, but it's okay, I won't let you come for nothing. The young lady invites you for lunch. I'll take you to tour the mansion first. He completely ignored his words, only looking at the room behind him. There's something gloomy. Something is wrong. In that room, there must be something. He wanted to confirm it himself. Xiao Zhao quickly blocked Yi's path. You can't, teacher Yi. The master doesn't allow outsiders to enter. His eyes were very resolute. If you insist on rushing in, don't blame me for being rude. He didn't want to fight, so he threatened him. Didn't you say that protecting the young lady is your duty? Now there's a possibility that she's in danger, but you won't let me in. In danger? Xiao Zhao didn't understand, turning to look at the closed room behind him. But the young lady is in the room, and she's with the master, what danger could there be? He looked around, his eyes vigilant. When you came to me for help, I saw a black aura rising to the sky on your young lady. Later I understood that it was a curse cast by someone. He suddenly pointed to that room. Although you can't see it, right now, behind that door, there's a black aura 10 times stronger than on her. Are you really not worried about your young lady? These words really strongly stimulated Xiao Zhao, and he was wavering. Then he immediately made a decision, clearing the way for He, teacher He, I beg you, please help the young lady. He pushed the door open and entered, immediately hearing, Dad, why don't you understand? You've said it, this is our family's business, let him go. The scene inside, there were 3 people looking at him. Shuwen's father spoke first. Who is it? Teacher He. He looked at the person sitting there and understood, so the more terrifying black aura comes from her father. The housekeeper came over, wanting to drive him away. How did you get in here? Get out. I've told Xiao Zhao, don't let anyone in. Unexpectedly, he wasn't one to reason with, pushing him away. Hey, what are you doing? He went to the front of Old Li and asked, You are Li Shuwen's father, right? My name is He, I'm her teacher. Old Li was so sick that his face was sunken, his voice hoarse as he replied, Teacher? So this is a family visit? I don't remember receiving any notification. He continued to talk to him. Not a visit, I'm here to solve the curse in your family. Li Shuwen leaned down, trying to persuade, Dad, let teacher He take a look. Old Li didn't answer her, only looking at He. I appreciate your kindness, but this is a private matter of my family, please leave. Did you hear? The master told you to leave. He used his power again to push the housekeeper away. He was furious, getting punched in the eye for no reason. He angrily turned around and called people. Xiao Zhao, what kind of bodyguard are you, standing there watching? Get in here. Xiao Zhao had no choice but to explain, Housekeeper Jing, teacher He really has abilities, or... The housekeeper didn't want to listen, shouting angrily, It's not your turn to speak. Someone, drive this troublemaker out. As soon as he finished speaking, bodyguards rushed over to protect the two. Old Li spoke up, reminding Teacher He, before things get more awkward, please leave. He spoke out his doubts. I don't understand. Why refuse other people's help? Yes, I don't understand either. Old Li lowered his head, his eyes empty. I've already asked someone else to handle this. I don't need you to worry. Unexpectedly, he saw something else, something terrifying like demonic energy. He blurted out, It seems that not only humans don't welcome me, but also something else. Old Li gritted his teeth, chasing him away. So, can you leave now? I don't feel well, I need to rest. Dad! Li Shuwen suddenly clutched her chest. I also don't feel well. The housekeeper spoke up, urging, after you appeared, the master and the young lady's conditions got worse. Are you playing tricks? Xiao Zhao didn't know what was happening. Only wanting to firmly believe in teacher what's going on? He pulled Li Shuwen to his side. Come here for a moment. Old Li shouted, when? The housekeeper was also flustered. What are you doing? Let go of the young lady. Catching a few pulses, he came to a conclusion. As expected, this is not a disease. His eyes widened, but a kind of curse, called the curse of the black killing god. This is a kind of curse transmitted through blood, and it will get stronger and stronger, becoming more and more serious. Letting go of her hand, he looked around, his eyes vigilant. The person who cast this curse is definitely nearby. What? He suddenly pointed to the housekeeper. It's you, right? The housekeeper gasped, denying. What nonsense are you talking about? Housekeeper Jing. He didn't wait for him to confess, going to take something himself. I ask you, what is this? The housekeeper turned pale with fear. Xiao Zhao couldn't believe it, clenching his fists. Housekeeper Jing, have you always been harming the master? No, actually. Unexpectedly, Old Li spoke up. Xiao Zhao, take everyone out first. But, Old Li, with a sad face, shook his head. I told Lao Xing to bring this thing. There are some things that are not convenient to say. Xiao Zhao had no choice but to bow his head to accept the order. Yes, master. He said as he walked. Okay, everyone go out first. Old Li, sitting in the wheelchair, slowly said, Teacher you really have abilities. You're right, that curse is indeed the black killing god. Li Shuwen looked at her father, unable to believe this truth. Dad, could it be that all of this was done by you? Why would you do that? He interrupted. Just now you said you asked someone to handle this, so... This is related to that person, right? Old Li looked at him and agreed. It is indeed related to that person. He began to tell them. He is a reclusive expert. While we were running around seeking a doctor to cure the disease, housekeeper Xing found him. The housekeeper, standing behind him, continued, That's right, for the master and the young lady. I don't know how many places I've run to, just to ask to see such an expert. He held up the paper figure, asking clearly, Expert? How are you sure he is the one who can save you? Old Li trembled as he replied, He showed me a miracle. He showed me the curse following me. He scoffed, So it's just those kinds of tricks. Old Li and the housekeeper looked at each other. Tricks? That's not a trick, we saw it with our own eyes, right, Lao Xing? That's right, master, even I saw it clearly at that time. He suddenly reached out, saying to them, So if I also show that miracle, will you believe me? He reached out to Li Shuwen, Don't move. Starting to form hand seals. His eyebrows never relaxed for a second. Although he had never tried it, there was a voice in him telling him that this method would work. On his hand was the sticker he made last night. This must be the instinct left in my body. He ordered appear, the entity of the curse. Black auras began to appear. Something that looked like a black demon appeared, scaring Li Shuwen. Black killing god, what is this? What's happening to me? Old Li's eyes widened. It appeared. He reached out to reassure Li Shuwen. Don't be afraid, I'm here, these things can't hurt you. He turned to ask Old Li, Is this what you saw that day? Old Li was now trembling like a leaf, but still trying to answer calmly, It looks a little different from the one on me, but it's indeed that kind of black smoke. He stood up, although still trembling, but he was trying very hard, clasping his hands and bowing to Teacher you really have abilities, so please save our Li family, save woman. He said straightforwardly, Then first tell me, what method did the expert you found intend to use to save her? Old Li's expression changed. This. The housekeeper reminded, You can't say it, master. Old Li lowered his head, slowly saying, He told me that the fewer people who know about this, the better, it would be easier for him to perform the magic, so other than housekeeper Jing and me. Even when one doesn't know about it. This talisman was also given to me by him, telling everyone around me to carry it on their bodies. It can gradually dispel the black aura. The housekeeper also spoke up, That's right, but you said I cast the curse, that's too unfair to me. He stroked his chin, seriously thinking, But you've already told me the solution, so there's still a part you can't say? Don't tell me it's the kind of transfer of tens of millions to a bank account. Old Li's pupils suddenly widened, even saying loudly, Teacher how did you know? He told me to transfer exactly 99,990,000 to his account. Master, you can't say it. He was speechless on the spot. He slapped his forehead, shaking his head. So it's a low-level billion-dollar scam. Li Shuwen was also incredulous. Dad, did you really transfer it? Old Li stammered. Dad didn't gather enough money right away, so he said to wear the talisman first, and he would completely solve it when he gathered enough. Li Shuwen started to talk loudly to Old Li. Dad, why didn't you discuss it with me first? It's obviously a scam. The housekeeper was now angrily rushing out. Damn it, we were scammed. I'm going to find that guy to settle the score. Unexpectedly, he gave an order. Stop. He looked at the housekeeper's back with scrutinizing eyes, lightly spitting out a few chilling words. The person was found by you. You really don't know anything? The housekeeper lowered his head, smiling. You're wrong. If I knew he was a scammer, how would I let the master follow him? I'm so loyal. Xiao Zhao came from somewhere, asking, What's wrong, teacher? He said, Zhao Jigang, don't let him run. Understood. Xiao Zhao grabbed the housekeeper. Teacher, is the problem solved? He shook his head. Not completely, but I've found a clue. The housekeeper knelt down, begging, Teacher, believe me, I'm also a victim. He frowned, drawing in the air. Those black smokes are actually a chain of karma. If you are just an innocent victim, you wouldn't be entangled like this. You can't see it, but you've been drawn into the cycle of karma. He even went to say a few more threatening words. If you investigate your income or your family's, there must have been a large sum of money recently deposited into the account, right? Finally, he admitted, I was wrong, please forgive me. Old Li was pranked. Lao Jing, did you really do it? The housekeeper honestly confessed, he took the initiative to find me. He saw that the Li family had this kind of cursed bloodline, so he wanted to take advantage of it. And I was blinded by greed. Li Shuwen was so angry that she couldn't say anything. Uncle Jing, our family hasn't treated you badly over the years. How dare you harm us like this? Sorry, forgive me. Li Shuwen looked to He for his opinion. What now, teacher? Old Li kept bowing his head, begging, Please save my daughter, it's all my fault for being muddle-headed. He went to pat Shuwen's head. Then, he promised with a gentle voice, Don't worry, I will definitely save her. Who told her to be my student? Shuwen cried again. Teacher, He turned to order Xiao Zhao, Keep a close watch on him. My business with him is not over yet. Understood, teacher. He turned to reassure her. Don't be afraid, close your eyes. He began to create a formation. Shuwen's whole body shone brightly. Then many dark things fell down. Silence all around. Shuwen suddenly felt like she was standing in the spring breeze, happily smiling. Dad, I feel much better now. My body is so light and comfortable. She was so happy that her eyes narrowed with joy. Teacher, you really cured me. Thank you so much. The things on the ground suddenly sucked up again. He quickly stepped forward to shield Shuwen. Be careful, it's not over yet. It rushed back to Old Li, merging into his body. Xiao Zhao shouted, Master! The black killing god appeared. It's you who ruined my good deeds. He gritted his teeth, asking, Are you human or an evil spirit? Father! It turned to look around, scolding, What a bunch of good-for-nothings, useless. The housekeeper knelt down, crying, Please spare me, High Immortal. He seemed to have guessed something. So you are the High Immortal who specializes in scamming people out of their money. The demon shouted, This matter has nothing to do with you. Why did you ruin my plans? He's face became even sterner, wanting to ask clearly, Did you just want to scam his money, or did you want to wipe out the entire Li family? The black killing god suddenly laughed loudly, laughing very cheerfully. Money is just a smokescreen. I just want to wipe out the entire Li family. So what? Can you stop me? At least I have to take his life first. Old Li twitched more and more. Everyone was scared stiff. Master! Father! He spoke up, ordering everyone step back. He stepped forward, striking Old Li directly. A beam of light pierced through him. He gritted his teeth, issuing a challenge. Today, with me here, don't even think about hurting anyone else. The demon's voice echoed everywhere. Ridiculous, just based on you? Wait a minute, how is this possible? Old Li suddenly widened his eyes, his pupils contracting violently. The demon dissipated, leaving behind a resentful voice. No ordinary person can stop me. Could it be that you are? Li Shuwen rushed up. Father! Miss! He placed Old Li back in his seat. Turning to reassure Shuwen, he's okay. They were all busy with worry. I'll go call the doctor. When? Dad, I'm here. Old Li's face was now rosier, looking at Shuwen with tears in his eyes. It's good that you're okay. Shuwen nodded happily. Luckily we had teacher He. This time our Li family is safe. He stood still, looking at his hands in contemplation. The opponent's strength is quite large. Just confronting him for a while took so much effort. Hopefully I scared him away. In some unknown place, an old man trembled, wondering, that Li family invited reinforcements. His face was gloomy. It's okay, I will find you. Before the Immortal Gate opens next time, I will definitely wipe out all the people who stand in my way. Old Li's complexion was very good, smiling and talking to He. Teacher He, I was offensive to you today. The Li family didn't recognize Mount Tai, please forgive me. He also smiled at him. It's okay. This kind of bloodline curse not only affects your health, but also affects your thinking, so you can't be blamed. Even so, Old Li still felt dangerous. So who is the one who cursed me? He has been cursing the Li family for generations. Why?